got the B-roll playing now. Through. All right, we got action here. We got action. We are.
I don't see it on YouTube yet.
All right, we're good on our channel. It's a brand new day, and I don't know about you guys, but I am particularly excited about the new Wild West that is the crypto industry. But of course, there's a ton of scammers, there's central bank digital currencies, and many potential pitfalls. But what will Donald Trump and Kash Patel do when it comes to this larger, emerging, new technological innovation here in the United States? Well, that's exactly what we are going to be discussing in today's podcast video with some really cool, awesome people in studio here with us. As sadly, Steph's camera doesn't work. I apologize for you guys here. We're going to be live probably for an hour or 2 hours. Who knows? As long as the conversation keeps going. Every time we have Gary here, the conversation is wild, to say the least here. This guy doesn't hold back, and he does personal readings too. We probably will be doing that for some kind of tier later on in just a few days. I think Gary, I think you have your audio on for one of your videos there. There you go. That's a lot better there. As, of course, we also will be prioritizing people who, of course, super chat, who, of course, will want to talk to Gary, will want to talk to us. We, of course, potentially will be taking a phone call from members of LukeUnfiltered.com. So if you haven't signed up to LukeUnfiltered.com, what are you waiting for? We usually don't go live, but, Gary, whenever he has really cool people in town, we decided to go live. As, of course, Gary, GG3, is in the house. Gary, for the people who don't know you, who are you, and how would you introduce yourself?
I'm the best of the best at what I do, the Michael Jordan in my field. And we'll figure out what that is a little bit later, but I'm definitely the Michael Jordan in my field. And today we got two crypto experts that I brought with me. And, I just want to make this very clear.
If you can't, just bring the mic up.
I've had so many people ask me as crypto guys to promote them. So many over the years. And the answer was always no, until I ran into these two. Now, here's the difference. I always ask crypto experts two questions. Number one, are you a millionaire? Number two, did you make millions off crypto? If the answer is no to either one of those, you're cooked. We're done. I don't want to hear it. These guys passed that test. They passed the litmus test. And today we will be throwing some numerology and astrology, but we're going to be talking about crypto too.
Yeah, I like that mix.
Yeah. What an intro. What an intro.
Yeah. Gary, again, this year sent me, the Super Bowl kind of
how'd that work out?
Prediction there. I don't gamble.
You're about to start.
I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's a bad thing. But last year, Gary sent me the results of the Super Bowl before the Super Bowl. This year, you sent me the winner of the Super Bowl. And I'm like, son of a gun. Gary's special.
Because
5 years in a row. 5 years in a row. 5 years in a row.
This is what you do. This is what you do. Because here's the thing. When you know numerology and astrology, then you can look at players' birthdays and you can use that knowledge to your advantage to understand the Eagles are going to win. That was like one of the easiest calls. By the way, I haven't lost a Super Bowl this freaking decade.
Yeah. Gary is, of course, joined by Charlie and Miguel here. Charlie from Cultivated Crypto, Miguel from Dollar Cost Crypto. Charlie, who are you for the people who don't know you? And then just try to bring up your microphones a little bit higher, please.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, let me know if you can.
No, you're great. You're great.
Perfect. My name is Charlie. Run the channel on YouTube called Cultivate Crypto. We've been doing crypto since March of 2019 on the channel. Been doing it myself since May of 2017. Got into Ethereum for the first time at $90. Of course, it crashed all the way down to 70, and then it went to 400, and I was like hooked. Absolutely hooked.
I remember I was there at the launch of Ethereum.
Yep.
And I was around. These type. I was offered a crap coin before crap coins were even named crap coins. Family friendly show here. You know exactly what I'm talking about here. But I think this is going to be important because there's really important news with Javier Milei. Yeah. Really important news with Dave Portnoy. We'll get into it. Miguel, for the people who don't know you, who are you? Dollar Cost Crypto.
I am Konnichiwa Arigato. I'm Dollar Cost Crypto. I've been in the crypto space for over 8 years. Got into crypto in 2016. Started my YouTube channel in 2020 and basically started the crypto mindset course with Charlie. We've taught like 17,000 students so far, mostly in the red pill space. And it's been a really fun ride, but every cycle is getting more and more difficult and more scammy and stuff like that. So we've had to have our guard up and teach our students kind of how to not fall for the pitfalls, basically. But you also have to sort of play somewhere in the sandbox as well.
Yeah, I remember back in the day.
Got your own corner in the sandbox, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I still remember back in the day, it was just, the real kind of Wild West. It definitely seems a lot more of a dangerous Wild West now than ever before. And I remember the kind of libertarian, anarchist, freedom kind of community really coalesce around the Tea Party, around this larger kind of technological innovation, saying this is going to take on the Federal Reserve. But now it seems like there's a lot of payday lenders out there instead of just larger institutions that want to get rid of it. So this is going to be an important one, and that's why I welcomed you guys in, because I think this conversation is going to be very important. Stephanie's in the house, and sadly her camera just blew up by accident. Sorry, Steph.
Hey guys, I'm here. You just can't see me.
Yes.
4 guys and no one can see the girl. Damn shame.
That's why we're talking about crypto. that's every crypto conference. That's every crypto conference out there. Times whatever magnitude out there. But no, truly crazy landscape. I don't know if you guys saw the news, but there's more news happening right now with the president of Argentina, Javier Milei, who's facing a lot of backlash after his Libra launch, as a lot of people are saying that this is definitely leaving a bad taste in people's mouth. What are you guys seeing here? What happened here? Because again, it seems like everyone under the sun, I've been asked to do this for so long, and I have resisted. They're like, hey, we'll give you this. Even recently, I have huge problems with the IRS. SaveLukeNow.com. A huge, overwhelming burden of debt on me, right? And there's so many people like, we'll give you 20,000, 50,000, just promote. And I'm like, I can't do it. I need to do something, but I'm not, I just can't do it, especially with what we saw with Haktua, especially what we saw with so many just predatory people in the industry that are just trying to make a quick buck here and sadly not kind of prioritizing any kind of ethics. Have you guys followed the Milei story? Can you guys give us insight to what exactly happened here?
You don't need to be an expert for that one. It's a pump and dump.
Yeah.
And he rugged a whole bunch of people. Now I'll let them go into more educated version of it, but that's what happened.
So some popular influencers in the space managed to get to the president of Argentina. They gave them a whole prospectus. Here's a 5K. Here's a PowerPoint. And basically, we're going to help you guys out. This is just, we're going to do for you what Trump Coin did for the Trump administration. You guys got the same brand. Let's do it. And most people, because they see all this fancy stuff, oh, wow, they're a little pretty legit. Let's do it. And they're giving us, I would bet you guarantees what they promised them in the back end somewhere. And it launched and it rugged hard. And these groups are all over crypto, and they're professional pump and dumpers. I mean, the guy who actually, he got interviewed on CoffeeZilla and admitted to all kinds of security fraud. And I mean, basically he's holding $100 million ransom of that money.
It's almost like in the movie The Big Short.
Yeah.
Where it's like, why are they confessing to their crimes? It's like, they're not confessing, they're bragging.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
We have Gary here, so of course I gotta read his birthday. I don't know if I didn't tell Gary I was gonna do this, but this is Javier Milei's birthday. He's a firebrand. He definitely represents what I think a lot of people are now finally seeing as a potential option of what could happen here in the United States. So it's crazy to see him even involved in a lot of this stuff. But his birthday is October 22nd, 1970.
Oh, he's born in a dog year. They probably started talking to him about this in the dragon year then. Because this didn't happen just overnight.
No, it doesn't happen overnight.
So they probably started talking, making conversation about this in his enemy year, and anything you do in your enemy year is going to hurt you. So he's a dog, 1970. The year of the dragon didn't end until January 29, 2025. So I'm willing to bet they were already in discussions about this because Trump did it like 2 days before he was elected. So they were probably already in discussions about doing this. Right. And this is another example of people who do things in their enemy year, getting their asses handed to them.
Yeah. Right. If you can't just bring the microphone a little bit higher here, as no, you're telling us specifically, hey, watch out for your dog. But my dog got hit too.
How many days before the enemy year?
Like, what was it, Steph? I don't even remember.
It was like a month ago.
Yeah.
It was like a couple days before the enemy year ended, and that's like when it's most dangerous. And it shows by what this guy did. He
Atlas.
probably started doing this right before his enemy year ended, and he got hit. Listen, he's not the only one. Napoleon decided to invade Russia in his enemy year, or at least plan the logistics for it. How'd that work out?
Not well.
So, you know, this is what happens when people do things in their enemy year. And this is the value of knowing information of this, because the difference between great men and the men we know in history is nothing more than timing.
Yeah.
You know, Napoleon is a great man because he timed most of his stuff in the right manner. Same thing with Genghis Khan, Julius Caesar, the dragon. They did the timing correctly, but there's been plenty of great people in history who just had the timing wrong, and we don't know their names because of it.
Yeah, Trump just kind of likened himself to Napoleon.
Oh, I love that tweet.
As he came out and says, "He who saves his country does not violate any laws." And a lot of people are freaking out.
That's straight
on
from
the left.
Napoleon. That's
Yeah.
straight Napoleon. And by the way, that is a dictatorial statement.
Yep.
And guess what? I completely support it. If you
Hail
get
Kaiser.
if you basically cut the cancer out of the nation, and you have to do things that maybe don't quote unquote according to the law, so be it. Because who appointed these judges who are trying to shut down the laws you pass? Democrats like Obama. They're the ones. That's that last line of defense in the swamp. As soon as you get past that, it's open season.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating to see this kind of statement from Trump, especially now with what's happening between Europe and the United States, as there's a lot of very intense talks happening surrounding Ukraine. You have the UK government literally saying, well, yeah, I mean, if the US pulls out, we'll send in our troops. The Germans are like, I don't want to do any of that. The Germans are literally arresting people for making offensive statements and memes. There's a video
I saw
that just came out in
I saw
60 minutes.
The prosecutors, right?
Yeah, which is so
Did you see what they? Did you see what they said? They basically said that if you make a negative comment on the internet, that is worse than in person.
Yeah.
Because in person, only two people hear about it. But on the internet, it stays forever, so they should be arrested. I've heard someone make that argument in their fucking prosecutor. So at the end of the day, Germany's cooked. It's absolutely cooked. Forget about that country.
Yeah, the
Berlin
UK
has
too.
fallen again.
Yeah, absolutely, and you saw the prosecutors laughing, jeering. Like,
I know.
They're so shocked when we take their laptop and phone away from them. I'm like, you're a bunch of criminals, and a bunch of people are saying, you know, it's so sad that these government workers are being fined. Those are the same elk. Those are the same people. Those are the same individuals that are now cheering and celebrating your downfall, your demise, you being essentially treated like a slave. Those are the same people that are getting fired by Deutsche right now, by Donald Trump right now. So, you know, I'm not going to have any tears here for a lot of those particular bureaucrats. But truly, the situation in Europe is very tense. But Europe, you know, when it comes to crypto and the Bitcoin kind of initiatives, they've been different than the United States. The United States under Joe Biden, I would say, you guys tell me if you guys agree, were more heavy-handed on crypto than the Europeans were. The Europeans were like, hey, we could probably make some money here. Let's allow people to play around with this stuff. And you know, even as totalitarian as Europe is, they had allowed more you know, crypto projects to be innovated there than here in the United States, where people were literally debanked with major institutions when they were huge major players on Wall Street for even entertaining the idea of doing more with crypto and Bitcoin.
Biden's a horse. Crypto was founded under Bitcoin January 3rd, 2009. That's Bitcoin's birthday. It's imprinted under that energy. That energy is a rat. Biden the horse, enemy signs. So that was just like Warren Buffett told everyone, yo, don't get crypto. Right. Remember, he said that?
Yeah.
He's a horse, so he's going to be against it. Just like Patrick Bet David. How you doing, brother? He was really good. He told his employees, never get crypto. Obviously, he was wrong, but it was just that enemy sign dynamic.
Peter Schiff as well. He was
Historically.
Yeah. Can I give you his birthday? I'm kind
Let's
of
hear it.
curious.
Let's hear it.
I'm looking forward to
This is a fun. Peter Schiff once wrote an article saying that if anyone ever sees me at a public event, they need to call security and police immediately to have me escorted out or arrested. Literally, that's what he wrote because
He's the big gold guy, right?
He's the big gold guy because I confronted him. I asked him a question about supporting Mitt Romney. And he supported Mitt Romney.
He's already disqualified.
March 23rd, 1963.
1963. Extremely selfish individual. Always thinking about himself. He changes his mind quite often, so I wouldn't doubt that, at some point he might say he was wrong and stuff like that.
His son cooks him.
Yeah, this is not a very honest individual, in my opinion.
Got it. Charlie Miguel, open-ended question. How has Europe led when it comes to crypto regulations and rules, and how did it compare to the United States?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go for it.
yeah, Europe's trash. Absolute trash. You're right. In the beginning, they were a lot more open. It's just because they didn't really know too much about it. So it's kind of, how do you govern something that you don't even understand? So they're like, this is some little pick sweep shit. It doesn't matter. But
Well, and the WEF has been hating it for years. When El Salvador was like, "Hey, we're gonna, have Bitcoin. We're gonna mine it with volcanic energy and all this stuff, and we're gonna use it within, our system." The WEF and the IMF were like, "Hell no, don't do that." They said, "No, screw you guys. We're gonna do it anyways." So it's independent countries like that, and Asian countries in particular. I think Japan, when they made it legal in 2017, they got their regulations done within 3 to 6 months. So it's not like it's hard, right? And Japan's one of the most bureaucratic countries in the world. So Europe right now, what they're doing is they're doing a lot of KYC related laws. So they're trying to push out a lot of exchanges like Kraken and stuff like that. So they're really kind of going after the Binance side. And right now, if you look at globally, where are most countries going to be regulating? It's going to be KYC, know your customer, making sure that they can identify people, as well as with stable coins. So Tether has actually just recently been kicked out of Europe. They went and they've remade their base to El Salvador. And so, you're going to start
they're
seeing...
kicked out of Europe, basically.
Yeah, they're kicked out of Europe because the U.S. says if they want to continue as a company supporting the U.S. dollar, they have to buy U.S. Treasury bonds, which they're probably not going to go do. And then they also say they have to get rid of their Bitcoin, which is anti-inflationary, which is the reason why they're successful as a company, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, and then on top of that too, like, I'm not saying all countries in Europe are bad. Portugal's really good for crypto. If you have the unfortunate luck of like living in Germany, at the very least, if you hold crypto for 1 year, you have no capital gains tax on it, which is really good. But the laws are not great, and really the reason for KYC is because eventually, demographically, Europe is in a really bad place. They just don't have much of a millennial population. Right, their baby boomers really didn't have that many kids, so they're in a really big kind of retirement crunch. So they're trying to find everything they can to tax you as much as possible, and then they see like, oh, this is crypto, this is a great place to tax you, basically. So, and on top of that, when the United States was kind of negative, like you said, under Biden, right, they were much more positive towards it, and as soon as the United States flips positive on it, oh, this crypto thing's a weapon against us, and that's why they kicked Tether out. And now they're and this is the problem. They've been so late to the game. Now they're barely trying to come out with a USDC for the euro now, an official one. And they're so behind the 8 ball because crypto is completely in dollars. It's completely controlled in dollars now. Like, that has been something since the beginning. I've been saying for a long time that the crypto game is dollars. It's basically a U.S. weapon, actually.
Yeah. I know a lot of other countries like China tried to up their kind of mining operations many, many years ago. And I remember the kind of mining wars that were happening as domestically in the United States. The government was creating regulations that would make it not really good for people to mine and make Bitcoin. China took a lot of the markets, and I know they even implemented temporary bans on mining in China as well. And I remember seeing all of this kind of unfold here, and I'm like, this is just a crazy, wild, insane kind of scenario where the governments see it as a threat, but they also kind of see it as an asset. Yeah. You guys have a crypto course on cultivatecrypto.com. We'll put it in the chat room so people could go check it out here. But are you guys there also helping people, teach them about their kind of rules, the regulations that's surrounding how to deal with this kind of crazy insanity? Because Trump's in office, he promised significant change here, but we're still dealing with the old system in its old archaic ways.
Yeah, we've had over 17,000 customers come in and use our different products in the past. And a lot of those have been from almost anywhere. Like, we've had guys from Jamaica, from different parts of Africa, from Asia, and everywhere. So when people come into the course, what we generally tend to do is like, hey, here's globally kind of the situation for everybody in crypto, and then when it comes to like taxes or when it comes to regulations in your area, here's what you can, here's the gray zone area stuff, and then here's the definite no-go zone stuff. And for example, Jamaica, there was a guy who, he was really having a hard time doing KYC, getting an exchange approved or anything like that. And so yeah, we've just like, hey, here's a couple ideas for you. And also we have other people in our community who are from similar areas, who have traveled there, different things like that, who kind of network and work with people. So what what we've been doing here since 2020 is this is the best crypto education platform in all of the world, actually. And also the most successful in terms of, onboarding new people to crypto. And so it's like a hive mind of people where we teach everybody, and about 40 to 50% of people every quarter come back because we do the crypto mindset course once every 3 or 4 months, and those people come back, and then we do this thing which is called pay it forward. Our guys who've been in multiple courses in the past, they'll take some of the information that they've learned from us over that time, and then they'll pay it forward to the other students as well. So we kind of create this community of, hey, we're all in this together, backs against the wall, because everybody else in the world is kind of against us in crypto. And that sentiment in crypto is starting to shift because it is becoming more of a mass adopted platform. But I think the culture of crypto, like you said before, with being a little bit Wild Westy and definitely against government overreach and stuff like that we still maintain that culture, because I think if you lose that culture in crypto, then it's kind of a slippery slope.
Yeah, definitely. And then and we delve into like the safest side of crypto, as well as the degeneracy up to a point.
A lot of
that.
Oh yeah. But up to a point, right? Because we do not trade in leverage or anything like that. We don't promote leverage trading. If you leverage trade, you're going to lose. And this is actually how a lot of influencers make money, is that they get you on a.
That might be ignore that if you can. No one else hears that, but us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically the influencers make a lot of money basically trying to get you onto a leverage exchange, pretty much, because these leverage exchanges know that they're going to take your money, basically, right? And they
know exactly where your stops are, where your entries are.
Yeah, so they set it up like, oh wow, we just need to drop the price on our exchange by $300, and then we liquidate you, done. And then they bring it right back, and they collect the cash and stuff. This is how Binance has made a lot of money, actually.
Oh yeah, a lot of exchanges.
But this is every exchange, by the way. If you think Coinbase or Kraken,
Coinbase
or Gemini,
is no different.
All of them are doing it. They just may be a little bit cleaner about it, basically.
Yeah,
a little
different
more,
levels.
A little more white glove, a little more velvet glove, basically. But
what is the worst exchange?
Bybit.
Yeah.
Bybit. Every influencer in all of crypto is basically promoting. Well,
To the mic. Speaking of the mic,
sorry.
please. Yeah.
I didn't know where you're pointing to me.
No,
so basically, every person in crypto who's like an influencer gets approached by Bybit at some point, which is they're like, hey, put this thing link in your profile, and every fee that goes through or whatever, you'll get like 25% of whatever your customers put through our exchange. So whether your customers get rinsed and they lose all their money, or they make $1 million by doing leverage or whatever, Bybit.
Bybit, right?
Yeah, we'll give you the ability to profit off of
Anyone who's ever
that.
DM me about Bybit is getting blocked. Okay,
I love it.
Because all these people
I
always
love
say, "Yo, why don't you go on this exchange? Why don't you go on this?" I think I heard of this Bybit a couple times.
Yeah.
No, you guys are frauds. You're blocked.
Japan is trying to get Google and I forget who else to try to block the that website from the country, because so many people are trying to access it through VPNs.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's the casino, but imagine, look, you can make so much money just buying a coin on crypto and it going up like 30x, 40x, 100x. That's plenty of money. And and then at the very least, if it starts going down, you don't get the problem with leverage is, let's just say you're long and it starts crashing, your whole position is gone. So like you had $1,000 in a coin. Now it's gone. Poof. Now you don't have, and even if it like, oh crap, it's crashing, you could sell in time. You might like, oh crap, I lost $500, but I still have $500 versus zero. And then on top of that too, they have these really bad practices where if you're not careful how your wallet is connected, you can get drained on multiple wallets.
Oh, nice.
So as you get liquidated, oh, this one's out of money. Doink. Oh, cool. Doink.
And half the battle in crypto is simply just surviving,
brutal.
and making sure you don't make the stupid mistakes, because it's all human error. Is what I would say 99.9% of mistakes people make in crypto. We had this guy the other day. He had not joined the course yet. He had not taken our risk management webinar, which we do 20 webinars, 15 live, 5 pre-recorded during the course. And we always say, everybody come to the risk management webinar, because this is absolutely the most important thing. And this guy who hadn't done that, he had heard about this coin that everybody was promoting. It was like extremely low market cap, brand new coin. He said, as soon as it launches, I want to buy it. He tries to buy it. He put $1,000 into the wrong one. It was an illiquid one that was like a decoy made so people can steal your money. And he was like, bro, I just lost the last 2 months of what I was trying to dollar cost average into the market on being stupid, right? I'm like, bro, if you would have just gotten into the course, right, you wouldn't have lost that, and then you'd have more opportunities to make money. And he was like, damn. And so, like, we're helping him out, of course, because he's in our community and he's taken the free stuff before, but we want everybody who's taken our free information to come in, because we're like, hey, come into this boot camp. It's 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks long. You can then, over the next 3 or 4 months, go over all the material, make sure you really know it, but then you don't get rinsed, right? You don't lose. And that's the biggest thing. First, don't lose, then try to win. But I think a lot of people in crypto are so going for that easy money, that quick money, that they tend to lose sight of that, and that's where all the mistakes are made.
Not everyone can be a sniper.
That's true. But we
help them.
We definitely help people. And like one of the biggest things, so obviously look, in 2021, when you're in the bull market year, you could buy anything and make a lot of money. But as it crashed, right, our guys all got to buy Bitcoin at 15,500, Ethereum below $800. Just name any crypto, except, screw XRP. But even XRP, we called the low on XRP too. We basically caught everything you wanted to. Hey, you guys, we think these ones are still alive. They're not dead. Solana, we got a ton of our guys that got it in at $9 or $8. It's sitting at what, $200 right now still? Yeah, 200.
Just under, yeah.
Just under.
Nice X.
Yeah, a nice X and stuff. But even with Solana, there's so much manipulation in Solana, because that's where all the meme coins are launching right now. It's like it was kind of Ethereum for a second, then it went to Base Protocol, which is Coinbase, and then it went to Solana. And shout out to my boy Trump, nuked Solana. That ended the Solana meme coin cycle. The Trump coin coming out pretty much but pretty much liquidated like 95% of the meme coins.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were super excited about that, and then there was Melania coin, and people were like, "Wait, what is that?" Okay, hold on.
Okay, so I heard a rumor about that. Okay, this is just a rumor. I heard that Trump launched his coin, and then somebody was upset that Melania didn't have a coin. I don't want to name any names.
I think I might know who that is.
I don't want to name any
rumor.
names, but I heard someone's very upset that Melania didn't have a coin, and that's why that coin launched within 48 hours because, quite frankly, some people are autistic. And, that could be, if you're autistic, you're probably thinking, well, how come this person can have it and this person can't have it?
Yeah.
So I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to say too much else. Go Trump, baby.
We support the Trump guys, but
You have some strong feelings about that, Miguel, specifically when it came to Trump's coin. And my initial kind of reaction to it is like, hey, Donald Trump is at least, for the first time now, kind of normalizing the industry, showing us that anyone could do it because he could do it.
Yep.
And I would rather that than the kind of oppressive big government that was just destroying any kind of innovation like before. But at the same time, it's not the best look to be launching a meme coin as the president of the United States.
Right. And they've kind of said stuff to cover his ass a little bit now, which is a meme coin. Now, this isn't in paper. There's no executive order on this yet, but they've been heavily hinting towards it, and they've tweeted it out that basically when if you create a meme coin, it is like a collectible. They essentially grouped it with NFTs. So if you launch an NFT, right, and then you abandon it, it's just an art project.
Yeah, it's like a Beanie Baby.
It's a Beanie Baby. A meme coin, you decide it's a community coin or a meme coin, and then you abandon it or you rug it. Well, it's just an art piece. So now
it's a pog.
Yeah, which there's a bit of a difference there. Like, this is why we tell guys, because guys come to us all the time for consultations and stuff like that, businesses or kind of influencers, and I want to launch a coin right now, and 99% of them we're telling them, don't do it, because you're essentially buying yourself a job in a way, because like once you do, like if you let you launch it, you make some money, you have some initial upfront capital, or you do some version of an ICO or something like that, and you get this money up front, then they're super interested in the project for about a month. If they're just good people, most of these fucking scammer guys, they're interested in the crypto for about 2 weeks, and then they slowly start tweeting about it, and then it gets deleted, and then what are you guys talking about? I never launched a coin.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. The thing is, it's like it becomes the whole thing where like half the celebrities, or at least I would hope half the celebrities, just don't know and are just like, oh, this is like an NFT, and that's kind of how they think about it. And the other half, they knowingly, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a quick penny off my name.
Exactly, and it's so simple for them to like think for 5 seconds. Like all they need to do is think for 5 seconds. Like, okay, what can I do to keep this thing going so that like way I don't have to rug it, right? If they were to just hire like a manager of the token, for example, right?
Yeah.
Hey, somebody who's going to keep the community going, somebody who's going to keep innovating on it,
Be trustworthy.
be trustworthy, keep adding.
Good luck with that.
Keep adding things, utility aspects to it, but like this should exist at some point in the future. But like Miguel said, they're in it for that fast money. It's like a sports player, right? They're like, hey, I got that contract. I'm gonna go buy that mansion. I'm not gonna give a shit anymore. But it's like, if they did actually care about their community, and they because there are a lot of influencers out there. You're usually not like the crazy big ones, but there are a lot of people out there who actually have legit communities that want to build them and
Like
do
Haktui?
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I mean? So like, but they're not the ones who are drawn to this. They're not the ones who are drawn to this. So like, there's a playbook on how to do this right. It's just the majority of people will not.
Because they're greedy.
Yeah.
They're greedy because like if they actually worked really, the only person I will say that this is crazy. I can only think of like 2 influencers.
Give me the name.
It's, believe it or not, it's Iggy Azalea. Believe it or not.
Really?
Mother. Yeah, she made a whole like coin about her butt cheeks, basically. I mean, there's no way to round that.
Sounds ethical.
Sounds
circular.
But then she starts putting in the work.
Yep.
She starts tweeting. She's all about it. That's her brand. Then she starts going to crypto conferences and opening up like a boutique strip clubs, and then having all the crypto influencers get lap dance. It's just hilarious. But that's the whole thing, is just she put an effort to like promote, and then she still rocks with it. Except Solana's wrecked right now, not price wise, but the underlying ecosystem, because a lot of capital was sucked out of it and put into Ethereum, and then. I will say the one big difference versus like Chinese, like I don't want to say Chinese control, but kind of like the Chinese dominant versus EU dominant, because like originally it was kind of like United States, very small Bitcoin United States sort of international thing. Then it was Japan controlled it, then Europe for a little bit, and then went China, and now it's gone America right now. And under America, there's been a price suppression of Ethereum. They've allowed it to pump, right? If you look at initially, they both kind of were running along with each other pretty well, and then Bitcoin just started really kicking its ass. That's pretty normal, but about 6 months ago, I mean, just about the whole industry is like Ethereum's really lagging behind. It's because Bitcoin's all-time high in 2021 was $69,000. We hit $108,000 now. And now it's 97, 98. We're really close to the all-time high. Ethereum's all-time high is $4,800. And we're sitting at like $2,600, $2,800 right now. So it's like it's fallen behind, and the reason for that is because most crypto native people, their wealth is in Ethereum. And Ethereum's like L1s, L2s, like Solana, like Ethereum, the coin can be used. It's essentially used as like a gold bar to borrow on, or to sell it, to buy like meme coins and shit coins and like utility tokens to make money. And because it's price suppressed, a lot of the crypto native guys, a lot of them haven't won as big as they should have, and the guys who won really big are the ones that like, screw it, I'm getting into like these rug pulls essentially. Yeah. And
I'm reminded of Trump Jr. tweeting about now's a good time to look at Ethereum a couple weeks ago, as well as you're kind of talking about what you're talking about right now.
I personally think Ethereum's going to take over at some point and be the crypto. I think that will happen at some point.
Over Bitcoin?
I really do believe that at some point. I think that's going to happen.
I think a good vehicle for that possibility would be through central bank digital currencies, which is not the most bright future when it comes to...
Just try to move that mic a little bit closer. Yeah,
this is the golden cage theory right here we have. Or thesis, we should say.
So central bank digital currencies, I want to get into that. I want to get into what Trump is doing. I want to get into the kind of new kind of rules and regulations, if there is even going to be any right now, because it definitely did seem like previously before we had an administration that was just trying to go after anyone in the industry.
Right.
Now it's a different day and age. What do you expect from Donald Trump and his new administration, and what kind of laws and procedures do you think they're going to put in play here?
The first thing that I expect from them is to first like just make things friendly towards crypto in terms of who's in charge. So that's what they've done so far since the inauguration. Is they got a new head of the CFTC, a new head of the SEC. They made the SEC Crypto Task Force, which is led by Hester Pierce, who's like the only person in the SEC who's actually been pro crypto since 2018, I believe. And then the head of the CFTC, he was a guy that was pro crypto quite vocally in the past as well. And so, you have that whole area starting to be friendly. You have the crypto czar, David Sachs, coming into the space. You have the mandate from that side is first to go towards exploring. They're not saying they're going to do it yet, but they say they're exploring the possibility of a Bitcoin strategic reserve before the end of April, maybe before the end of May, would be the first area if they are going to pass that they're going to try to do it. And then the other thing that they've started cracking down on is stablecoin regulation. So those are the first things that they've done, which is they've done more in a month than any administration has done the entire history of all of crypto.
This administration has been incredible. I mean, not just for crypto, but just for
We knew they would be.
Everything. I mean, it's just hitting the ground running. But the interesting he essentially passed like a mandate, right? And there's something called the working group, which is basically it's going to be the head of all the financial heads of the United States government, plus some outside influencers, David Sachs and a couple other people, and they're going to bring up just kind of like essentially they're kind of like Doge in a way. We're like, hey, we think this is cool stuff to pass for crypto. The president decides on a yes or no, and then it gets enacted. If they don't like it, they don't do it, or they'll change it. But there's actually already a stablecoin bill out right there, and they've already said that's pretty much close to what's going to get passed. And on the other crypto stuff, it's basically they support all open and so it's the wording sounds incredible because that's we use it as well. Yeah, open and free, decentralized cryptocurrencies. Open and free means they can see your transactions and people can look into your wallet, and that means it's super like transparent, which is good, but also bad if you're paying people, right? Like that's why Monero's really good. Zcash is really good.
Zcash, baby.
Yeah. Shout out to Zcash. But a lot of people. But the problem is they're a little difficult for some people to use initially, just because it's an extra step. It's not just like let me buy it on Coinbase. And then most people, the average crypto knowledge is like, where do I buy it? I don't know where to buy it. And they either find crypto.com or they find Coinbase and they buy it and they leave it there. This is why everyone got rugged so bad on FTX is the average person is like, oh, there's FTX. I've seen the FTX arena. Cool. Let me buy some Bitcoin, Ethereum. And they just leave it there. Because just like normal, you buy it on Robinhood or you buy it on any of your apps and stuff. You usually leave the money there. But here's the problem in crypto. These guys essentially they're making so much money. They get greedy and they start taking customer funds, putting it over here, still showing that your money's there, and then using that money to gamble with, and some win and a lot lose. And obviously Sam lost.
What was that guy's birthday again? Sam what?
Sam.
We could look it up.
Yeah,
we could look it up.
Sam born 1992, year of the monkey, gets hit real hard. 2022, year of the tiger. Enemy signs. I remember people telling me to look into that one, and I saw enemy signs at work there too.
Yeah, what you guys are talking about, I'm automatically thinking about our Federal Reserve banking system that essentially runs the same way.
Yep.
So a lot of people are like, crypto's a scam. Wait until you learn about the Federal Reserve banking system, and then that's the big scam that we're slowly and surely getting exposed to. As, of course, Elon Musk has even hinted at bringing in Ron Paul in order to audit the U.S. Federal Reserve banking system. There's other things happening right now. Go ahead, Gary.
Let me push back on that one. While I do agree that the Federal Reserve is economic terrorism, they sank the Titanic to get it passed. We'll go into that at some other point. Right. But at this point, the parasite that is the Federal Reserve is so attached to the host, the United States of America, which is a superpower. If you take those two apart at this point, you not only destroy America, you destroy the U.S. dollar. Yeah. So at this point, yes, the Federal Reserve is economic terrorism, but if you actually try to destroy it right now, You can say bye-bye American dollar, and you can also say bye-bye American superpower. So at this point, I don't think that's the right move.
Yeah, because there is going to be a whole house of cards that are going to collapse.
Right.
Yes.
Especially with this kind of larger debt system that we're all in, that with fractional reserve banking system has enriched a whole bunch of people, but also hooked up a lot of people to be on this larger stuff. I want to talk about Ethereum, central bank digital currencies, because you guys also pointed at that. I still want to talk about Dave Portnoy. There's also a larger kind of talks about even auditing Fort Knox, as a lot of people are saying. The gold might not even be in there. I see people in the chat room right now. They're like, buy gold, buy gold. And I'm like, hold on, wait until we find out what's at Fort Knox. I want to get your comments on that. But I remember being in this kind of Bitcoin space in the very beginning. Bitcoin was like $100, $200. My friend Max Kaiser was demanding that I talk about it. And we did. A lot of our audience members listened to us. And my advice, my financial advice is don't trust anybody. My financial advice has always been diversify. Get some crypto, get some Bitcoin, get some gold, get some silver, get some stocks, and have your eggs in multiple places. Don't put your eggs all in one, because that's when a lot of people make a lot of mistakes.
Correct.
And with Bitcoin, I always said, because it always goes down, always goes up. Trajectory is always kind of up here with Bitcoin specifically. I always said, invest, but invest what you're willing to lose, because you might lose it the next day.
100%.
And a lot of people have listened to us, and it's not good advice that get rich quick schemes. No, it's not. But it's smart. And if people listened to us, some of you guys did. I know a couple people reached out to me. They're like, holy crap, I'm a millionaire because I listened to you guys earlier back on. Even with that little bit of investment, because imagine investing, like you have $1,000 to lose, $1,000 into Bitcoin when it was still a couple $100. Right. You're doing really well right now. You're probably a millionaire right now. So that's the advice that a lot of people listened to. Yeah. And I think with Trump now opening up this larger space, I think there's going to be just a huge future in this. And that's why I wanted to talk to you guys. That's why I talked to my audience about this, because there is something that is going to be bigger here, specifically with potentially bigger revelations with the Federal Reserve, bigger revelations with Fort Knox that could have the whole world going crazy, and Bitcoin crypto could be the way, but also it could be a trap with Ethereum and central bank digital currencies.
Right. I mean, it's already, I don't want to say it's too late, but I feel like it's already too late. Like they've already kowtowed a long time ago. What's his name? Bitcoin Jesus. What's his name?
Roger Ver.
Roger Ver, right? So Roger Ver just recently had an interview with Tucker Carlson, and he pretty much said something that we have been kind of speculating for a really long time, that we had the 3-letter agencies in since 2017 and before that, and they definitely were. They basically.
I think the first meeting with the CIA and Gavin Andreessen, who was the lead developer on Bitcoin after Satoshi Nakamoto. His last message to Satoshi was, I'm going to go and visit the CIA in Virginia and tell them what Bitcoin's about, back in 2012. And then Satoshi never responded to him ever again. And it's just disappeared.
Yeah, from the very beginning, I'm like, hey, this could be a CIA tool used to create a global one world government currency. That was always my fear. You go all the way back with me and Max. I remember being in London with him. We were kind of walking and talking, doing this interview. And I was like, Max, how do you know this is not going to be the globalist New World Order currency? He gave a fascinating answer that convinced me that it's essentially not, that it's decentralized. But looking back at it, it's like, whoa, hold on now. I think who knows what the larger possibility is. But Roger also is a friend of mine. FreeRogerNow.org. Bitcoin Jesus. Check out that story. I think the man deserves a pardon.
Oh,
no, definitely. But he's one of the rare guys that's been a lot. It's like, you're a hero in the beginning, but you stay long enough, you become the villain.
Yep.
And then he's back to being a hero again, sort of in a way, because he was right. And basically what people, he just didn't explain it at the time, or at least I was around during the time when he launched Bitcoin Cash and stuff.
Well, essentially what he tried to do for a second, it's like one of those things where it's like, you were okay with the community, everybody loved you, and then it's like, well, let me see if I can hard fork this and take it over. Oh, wait, I can't. Okay, never mind. And so you got the old maxis who are just never going to let that go. But I think he deserves a second chance. He's done way more good than bad ever for all of crypto, and he's put himself out there quite a lot.
Yeah, Roger Ver has supported a lot of
People,
causes, a lot of liberty-minded, freedom-minded causes, and has done a lot of great work helping out a lot of people legally as well. Because when the legal justice system goes after a lot of these people in the space, one of the few people that it does help them out is Roger Ver.
Yeah, he's the first guy that actually introduced me to Vitalik Buterin and CZ from Binance in Tokyo back in 2017 when I first got into crypto. He was a doorman at the Bitcoin meetups in Tokyo, and he was like giving people lanyards and shit. And I didn't even know who he was at the time. My friend was like, "Can I take a picture with you?" I'm like, "Who's this guy?" He's like, "It's Roger fucking Ver."
But with Roger Ver, right?
I'm gonna use the restroom. I'll be right back. You
No
guys
problem. Yeah, so with Roger Ver, right? Essentially, what they did is like Bitcoin was supposed to be fast and cheap, and then also it's basically supposed to be, you should be able to use it as a currency, but also it accrues value and goes up over time. And what they did is they bastardized it and never let it be upgraded, but the numbers went up, so no one cared. Right. So it's kind of this thing where like, you want to be rich or you want to be right. And the Bitcoiner chose to be rich, and then from there, that's why now that it's worth so many trillions of dollars, they definitely are afraid to do any upgrades to, because if they do any fuck up, it's terribly bad, But the one upgrade they will have to do at some point is some protection against quantum computing at some point, because that's something they're going to have to upgrade at some point.
Well, and that's for everything that's encrypted all over the internet.
Yeah.
When quantum computing comes and it's like a real thing, that's gonna be a problem for Bitcoin, isn't it?
There's gonna be a problem for the
everybody.
entire internet.
Everybody.
Like
2027, 2028
your
is
bank account, your email account, your frickin' Pornhub history, whatever it is that's encrypted.
I don't have any.
Your OnlyFans.
Shit. But
History of that.
anything that's encrypted will then be breakable, right? And so, in order for quantum to not affect the entire financial world and internet negatively, the main thing is who discovers it first and who actually puts it on first.
Right.
So if it's an enemy state like China or somebody else, well,
we're fucked.
We're absolutely fucked, because they can like basically do whatever the fuck they want.
And if America does it first, then everyone else is fucked.
Yeah.
Unless they're like, we're going to be benevolent, we're going to put out a patch.
Stop.
Except for people we don't like.
Exactly.
Right.
Good luck, Russia and China.
Yep.
Exactly. But go ahead. Good.
So what's the worst case scenario? What's the best case scenario?
Let me
here
ask
with
one
all
more
this?
question.
Yeah.
Quantum computers, how much does this rely on microchips? Like, what is it? All 100% micro? So whoever makes the best microchips is gonna win this battle.
Pretty much on the industrial scale, like the actual super computers, they need an extraordinary amount of chips, and you need a fuck ton of power. That's why they're building. That's why they're bringing nuclear. That's why they're bringing nuclear power back.
Yeah, and it needs to be cooled, right? It can't be in a warm space. Yeah.
So it's this crazy thing where it needs Alaska, but like Google's literally building a reactor right now. You know that?
Where?
I don't know where. We can look it up. Google's actually partnering up, building the first reactor in the United States in 40, 50 years? That's insane. And that's because they need that much power. And it's a sort of thing where like...
For AI too.
Right? So AI gets really scary in about 2 to 3 years. 2027, 2028. It's going to double again in intelligence, speed, and stuff. And then it gets spooky, and then it's really now is an arms race for electricity in order to and getting chips in order to actually get that and then weaponize it. But here's the problem: is when it doubles, we only get the little more upgraded AI that the normal side. So we'll have stuff you'll have an AI where hey, my AI will just sell this at here, buy this here, and it'll just start doing stuff for me, and then from there I can set up you can already do some of this right now, but it's not as intuitive. You have to put much more work on it. But the AI will eventually get so good that it was oh, I've read your Twitter and I know exactly how you tweet. I'll just tweet like you, and then never tweet about. You just tell them don't tweet about this stuff, okay? And then it'll just be tweeting on your behalf all day, trying to get you views and stuff like that. And then that's going to be the whole thing where some of these accounts who get that first blow up more because it's on Twitter all day, so it's oh, this is a good topic. Let me tweet how you tweet, and then it'll tweet that out.
Yeah,
so,
everyone always thought
AI OnlyFans.
Yeah,
yeah, that already exists.
That
already exists with the chatbots.
It already exists,
and fake models and AI imaging and video imaging and all this weird kind of pervy stuff on level time X. It's a crazy world that we're living in.
So the most important thing in the world right now is to have IP, basically be known, have some followers, because that's going to be your protection against an AI thing. So even, like what's going to be, everyone's going to be super hyped on AI for a point, and then it's going to saturate it, and then be like, I want a real influencer, real person, and then it's going to go back to that, and that's what's going to happen. And it's going to be a mixture between like, because it's just everything. Like, oh, everyone's going to go super crazy on AI for a second, and then it's going to go back to like, I want some real influencers, and then eventually it's going to go some hybrid version. And that's what always happens. It's kind of like the pendulum. Yep, I was literally about to, the pendulum, literally. But yeah, that. So you were saying something else about
Yeah, no. Everyone always thought that technology was going to take over blue collar jobs. It's doing the opposite of that. It's taking all the white collar jobs. It's taking all the doctor jobs. It's taking all the lawyer jobs. It's going to take all the graphics artist jobs. It's going to take the creator jobs, the content creators. And what you mentioned, you got to create intellectual property so people know you're an actual person and not a Skynet robotic technocratic overlord pushing singularity that's going to, of course, blend consciousness and humanity into one digital grid that's going to be controlled by Mark Zuckerberg and Jared Kushner.
Say that 5 times.
I know.
So,
but if so now's the time. If you always dreamed about making a YouTube channel or doing something, do it now. Like right now, before you even have more competition, because it's going to be really hard.
Yeah, the competition's already ramped up with COVID and everything.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. It's an insane world out there that's extremely competitive that you have to work your butt off. And we've been doing that here, a part of this independent media network. We thank everyone for of course, sharing the broadcast, being a part of the broadcast, getting it out there to the general public. But I wanted to because I also teach people how to be an influencer. I have my Change Media University for my members of LukeUnfiltered.com. But you guys also teach people specifically how to traverse this realm.
Yes.
What are your projections of everything kind of moving forward? Because it definitely does seem like it's only going to get more wild, more crazy. A lot of people, and I've been warning about this for a very long time, ever since I was at my first kind of Bitcoin conference a very, very long time ago. I always said, hey, there's a lot of people in here that are liberty-minded, but there's also a new kind of Lambo, get-rich-quick, Wall Street type of people coming in. And as they were first coming in, I was like, be careful with these guys. Right. But it seems like those guys kind of have a lot of reign and power now.
Yeah, it's just because you have to look at the crypto industry. I guess when they first really started tracking like the market cap of Bitcoin, $15 million, then, whoa, we hit $1 billion, $100 billion. Now we're sitting at trillions.
That's a different ballgame.
It's a different ballgame, and then eventually it's going to get to the point where, like, next cycle in 2029, right in the end of the decade, we're going to be playing around with like 5, 7, maybe $12 trillion market cap. It just starts getting really real. Where like we're starting to catch up to gold's entire market cap,
and that's why it's so important to be literate in crypto right now. So that's what we try to promote with the course, is just like, hey, at least have an understanding of this, have a grasp of it, because if you don't, either the government or a corporation or some product and service you want to use is going to force you to use it at some point in the future. It's kind of like email in the 90s, right? People in 93 were like, what's an @ symbol? What the hell is this email thing? Why don't I just use snail mail, right? And then in 1998, you had like every housewife essentially having like 50 different emails. It's going to be the same thing with crypto wallets, right? Everybody's like, what the hell is a crypto wallet? How do I even use this right now? And then by the time we get to 2029 or 2032, we're pretty much going to be like, hey, everybody's using a crypto wallet in some way, even if they don't know they're using it on the back end of something. So just coming in, understanding crypto literacy, and really getting at it is absolutely important.
Because it is daunting. It's a lot of work. Back in the day, it wasn't like, oh, I downloaded an app on my phone. It wasn't like that. It was
paper
like
wallet, right?
It wasn't even paper wallet. You had to download the kind of blockchain.
Right.
You had to have the kind of you had to wait until everything would sync, and then you have to. It was a very complicated task many years ago. It wasn't as easy as it is kind of now. But now there's also a lot of pitfalls, a lot of things you got to be careful of, specifically with your private keys, specifically with trusting people, who to trust, who not to trust. But let's give a trajectory of 2 possible futures here. The best case scenario and the worst case scenario. For me, the worst case scenario is a central bank digital currency.
That's happening no matter what, bro.
It's happening.
Okay, so let's lay out the trajectory we're on. You guys would know better than me. What's the best case scenario and what's the worst case scenario
worst
here?
Or do you want best?
I don't care. You can take whichever one you want. Go.
Let me do worst. Let me do worst case.
Okay.
So the worst case scenario is essentially they end up. We all basically all money gets digitized. It all gets digitized. Cash goes away,
No, it becomes illegal.
It becomes illegal. Yeah, it becomes illegal. It gets thrown away, and then basically what happens, because the Chinese were testing this out, right? What'll happen is you'll get an alert on your phone. Hey, the economy is, because once it's all digital, they can actually with AI and all the technology, they can really see what the spending and what's going on with GDP and everything like that. They're like, oh crap, we're not pumping we're not doing that well in the economy today. Okay, cool. All the money you guys made in the last 2 weeks will disappear at midnight today. You have to spend it. You have to spend it.
Yep. So, and people think that's absurd.
No, but it's not.
But it happened.
It happened.
I landed in India, right?
Yep.
And I was just there meeting a friend. We were going to go explore, hang out in India. And I'm like, okay. As soon as I landed, they did a currency reset. The government said, yeah, all these bills, they're going to be illegal soon, and they're going to be worthless. You are going to have to take all the cash underneath the mattress, all the cash that you never reported. You're going to have to give it to the bank, and the bank's going to give you new money. And this new money is going to be worth, actually something. Your old money's not going to be worth it. But the Indian government messed up royally, and they didn't have enough of the new money. So people are like, wait, now I got to pay taxes on my old money on cash, because India is predominantly a cash society.
Yep.
And now they don't even have money. People were going broke. People were starving. People were rioting. And I landed there, and it's all cash. I didn't have U.S. dollars. I had credit cards. A lot of places don't take credit cards in India, and a lot of the banking services were just absolutely insane. So I was there for it, and I did reports on the ground with people freaking out, going crazy, long-ass lines at the ATMs. There was tourist ATMs, and then there was ATMs for everyone else, where people were literally sleeping and standing outside on the street just trying to get any kind of money out.
Wow. What year was this?
I got to double check to
probably back in 2019, 2020.
Yeah, it was recent-ish. Yeah,
I remember that though. Yeah, for sure.
No, I was
Shout
there
out to my Jeets.
on the front lines when that was happening, and it was not fun. It was not fun to deal with.
Yeah. I mean, Indians have a really bad reputation in crypto.
India's a
It's
shithole. Let's not play games.
Yeah.
But they did kick Pakistan in 4 wars. Kick Pakistan.
This is
it is what it is.
This is me way back when, and that's one of the lines at Steph. What are you doing?
Oh, wow.
One of the lines there at the ATMs. This was 8 years ago.
Wow.
Look how small the cars are.
8 years ago, they're saying people are just absolutely going crazy and freaking out here, because they were. It was such a wild scenario to be a part of. And then, one thing that they did there was they literally, you would go into restaurants and they would do IOUs, because people were hungry, people were starving, and they're like, yeah, we can't get any money here at all.
Wow.
And
So they went back to barter.
yeah, we literally went
Wow.
back to bartering, and also just a credit system of, hey, this is where I am. I'm putting my name down here, and I will pay you back once I get money.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't put anything past the government. You give them enough power, they'll fucking do anything. Right?
So they control. If they control your ability to save, because what money is economic energy. It's electricity. It's money, right? It's energy. And if they control your ability to save, you are a slave, because they'll just leave you as day to day.
Yeah.
Subservient to them and stuff. I mean, if you want to look at the Black Mirror has a perfect episode on this, where this guy's just basically riding a bicycle in order to get points, in order just to win. And the whole point of the thing is you're grinding. You're a slave. And if you get lucky, you win a talent show and you might get famous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It sounds like you're describing modern society.
Isn't that what YouTube is? Isn't that what YouTube is?
We're living it now.
A couple plebs got famous.
Yes.
Down to Marco, baby.
So it is.
Chasing that pipe dream. Again.
But what he said is gonna happen. They're gonna make sure that they're gonna switch everything to crypto at some point. There's gonna be an event. Everything's going to go to crypto, because they're not going to be able to keep this petrodollar system going forever.
No.
So they're going to need the Fed coin at some point to replace this stuff.
Yep.
And then they're going to start running their scam with this. But here's what's going to happen. First, everyone's going to get their Fed coins.
Yep.
And then if you misbehave or your social credit is very low, they'll just shut down your cards. You won't be able to buy anything.
Yep.
And then after that, you want to go about 20, 30 years in the future. At some point, when all this crypto system is in place and there's no more money, they're going to shut down the power grid. And then they're going to tell people, listen, if you get a chip in your arm with all that same information,
Mark of the beast.
guess what, man? Then you don't have to worry about a power outage anymore. This is how they're going to do it, step by step by step.
Yep.
Yeah, and it could happen with larger disclosures about the gold not being there in Fort Knox, with a larger audit of the Federal Reserve banking system, with the collapse of the U.S. banking system. So I think more than ever, we are living in extremely tumultuous times.
Yes.
That anything and everything could happen.
And
Yeah, well, kind of the best case scenario with that, as we are in the world right now, is the fact that
Put on the rose-colored glasses.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not even gonna do that. I'll give you something realistic.
The best case scenario. So we're going to the best
wet
case
dream,
scenario.
Charlie. Wet dream, please.
Let's go. So the way the world is right now, the way the chessboard is set up, right?
Yeah.
The biggest thing the United States has going for it right now in terms of crypto and going towards a central bank digital currency and all this is that Trump, through an executive order, has made it illegal for only his administration the next 4 years that the United States cannot create a central bank digital currency. So that's a positive,
Yes.
right? And that's like, putting your finger in the freaking hole in the dam, right? Meanwhile, you have countries not to be named. We've heard a few things in the background, not really rumors at all, but confirmations of a few countries, a handful of countries, which in the next couple of months will be putting out central bank digital currencies for their population. Some of these, most of these are not like covert things or anything like that. They've been doing, hackathons and stuff like this for people to build these types of things over the last few years. So if you kind of look around enough, you'll figure out which countries they are that are probably closest to this right now. But it's not America. It's outside-based countries. So those countries first are going to be the ones that are going to show, okay, here's how a central bank digital currency works. Here's how authoritative it can get. Here's how free it can be and all this stuff. And so the United States, I think it's been mostly Republicans, but of course there's people on both sides of the aisle with this.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who are like, we need to keep cash. We need to keep, crypto private. We need
Screw the penny.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's
But Trump's
whatever.
getting
Who
rid of
gives
the
a shit?
penny.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
The physical creation of it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, as long as the United States can bake in, we do not need a central bank digital currency, or we should not have one past Trump's administration. That's the only luck we have to make sure that does not happen.
Four more years of just slowing down the progress that allows more people to get into crypto and get into the decentralized ones that at the very least cannot be shut down. And that's the rose-colored part. Is we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna go full the worst case scenario, but at the same time, I don't think it's gonna be like this paradise.
No, of course. But and then the other benefit of crypto, right, is for the stock market. Essentially, it's not a 24/7 traded space right now. So if they do a hybrid version of that, where hey, you have the normal stock market open from Monday to Friday, same time as always or whatever, but on the weekend you can use your tokenized security. You can use your tokenized stock, your tokenized Tesla stock. You can trade it on the off hours. There might be a little bit of difference in price. So then on Monday, we're going to have a little arbitrage session where we're going to marry up the price on both assets. And then they're correlated again for the rest of the week. So then you give Wall Street a little bit of a vig over the weekends as well.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to take advantage of that.
Because
BlackRock.
Because they proposed multiple
They're
ones.
going to create it.
Like maybe making
In
it
Texas.
making it 24/7 for Monday through Friday, and then closing it on the weekends, or and eventually it's going to be 24/7. And that's the thing. What people don't understand is that if the markets are open 24/7, the stock market, I'm saying the equities market, that's an efficiency increase, actually, and it's actually it's actually so bullish for equities. It will let equities grow even more. And to tell you the truth, and the thing is you guys have to
It would kind of destroy futures, though, wouldn't it?
No, not future.
No, some of the money would have to leave futures, so it takes something else.
The products would have to be re-engineered.
But it does create new money as well.
It does.
So,
Probably creates more new money, but it's going to affect that futures market, no doubt.
Correct.
And it's gonna. Well, basically, what it's gonna do is we're no longer just a U.S. based stock market. Really, we're now a global market that's 24/7, which is I think leading into the whole thing you were saying earlier about we're gonna have a one world currency. We already have a one world currency. It's a dollar. Really, we have the dollar and a bunch of shit coins, and the dollar's a shit coin. But eventually, you're right. It's going to turn to USD. That's going to be the coin, right, or whatever the hell they name it. But
and another way to actually extend the dollar's lifespan, because all fiat currency is ultimately doomed. Just that's the way it's been over human history, right? the way that they're going to try to perpetuate the U.S. dollar is by creating a Bitcoin strategic reserve. If you have a deflationary asset backing up your inflationary asset, it slows down the perceived inflation,
Right.
and at least it gives you something to backstop it. That being said,
Didn't work with gold.
yeah, it's because they can print more paper contracts. So they can do the same thing with Bitcoin, but then you have to agree. It's like Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin, right? Which one's the real Bitcoin? Well, you can have an immutable ledger which you can see it. So it just depends on how that whole scenario plays out.
Yeah.
But they can try to bastardize it. It's just going to be a lot harder than to do it the way they're doing it with gold
there's
right
two
now.
ways for them to suppress gold: find more gold, paper contracts. Yeah. So they have kind of two with Bitcoin. There's like a set amount, and it's getting smaller every year. And there's really not that many coins. It's really not that many. It's like 19 million coins. That's it, really. Because like that last million that's going to be mined, it's going to take 100 years.
Yeah.
Plus, people lost a lot of coins.
And
A lot of people
Yeah.
have lost their keys.
Yep,
A lot of
yep.
people lost their computers, lost their hard drives.
People in
and,
the trash looking for $500 million and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just want to say that in 2011, when Gaddafi and Tripoli fell, I think it was 5% of the world's gold was taken from Libya and the Libyan people, or from Gaddafi. And within that same time span, gold fell like 5%. Interesting how that works.
Surprise.
Yeah. We're living in a new day and age, and I think it's just volatility that's going to happen.
They
from
did the
now
same
on.
thing to Iraq. I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen the whole dump. They have a dumpster full of gold.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
same thing happened.
Yeah, it was an
But
insane amount of gold.
One interesting coin. I mean, it's so I like me and Charlie do not like XRP, but if we
Me either.
But if I can make money on it, I will. Right? There's a coin called XLM. Interesting. There's ties to Elon Musk with that coin actually, but XLM is like kind of the competitor to XRP. That coin really crashed in value along with XRP in the bear market, especially during the Ukraine war, because that coin was going to be the central bank digital. It's going to be where the Ukraine central bank digital currency is going to run off of, is XLM, and that has ties to basically the capsules inside like the Falcon Heavy and stuff like that. The guy who runs XLM is the guy who also runs the capsules and stuff that go in Elon's spaceships. And stuff like that. So there's a huge kind of government connection there, and the kind of like so that coin exploded in price the moment that Trump was running and he was about to win. The coin started going like this because people were like, oh crap, Ukraine might actually exist instead of it might actually work now.
Ukraine's current economy is like what, $300 billion or something like that. That's
But they're carving it up for mineral rights right now.
minus all the corruption that all the
Yeah,
bureaucrats
yeah.
and politicians are taking for themselves.
And the most corrupt country in Europe was Ukraine by
Absolutely.
far.
100%.
The Russian politicians, when they were on good terms with Ukraine, they went over there to do an audit on Ukraine,
Right.
and they said the levels of corruption there were off the chart. Now I want to
Probably
understand this.
why they want to use XLM.
I just want to make this clear. When the Russians tell you that corruption is off the charts, that tells you a lot.
Yeah.
Because that's like one of the
Oh,
most
yeah.
corrupt
Oh,
countries.
yeah.
Like in Russia, if you want to do business, you have to just give politicians money. Instead of paying taxes like you do here, you give politicians money. So for Russians to say that Ukraine was off the charts corruption, that tells you everything you need to know about that country.
Yeah, if you get stopped and you're driving in Russia, you're going to pay off the
Yeah, of
police
course.
officer.
Yeah, of course.
In Ukraine, you got to pay off the police commissioner, the traffic cop, the regular cop, the politician, the mayor, and the city council.
Zelensky
just
needs
to
some
get
too.
by.
Zelensky needs a piece too.
But no, the levels. I mean, Zelensky even just admitted not so long ago that $100 billion just went poof. It went missing. We don't know where it went. We were told we were going to get it, and it just it's just gone.
Obama, Biden.
Well, yeah, which is just an astonishing
Shout out Big
huge
Mike.
sums of money. And there's so many politicians and so many corrupted officials just being caught with huge suitcases of U.S. dollars trying to, of course, move through borders. As a lot of people have bought homes in many different areas as well. Real estate is another place where a lot of people are offloading a lot of their money. And
You know why they do this? Because do you know why they're so happy to give away foreign aid? Because they can steal money.
Yep.
This is This is what foreign aid is for politicians. This is why they're so benevolent with your money, because they can hand it off to Iraq, Syria, Ukraine, and the levers of powers in those countries are so inconsequential. You can steal everything. So you send $100 billion. Guess what? I'm going to get $60 billion in kickbacks. I mean, Obama sent like $1.1 billion to Iran in unmarked bills.
Right.
Unmarked bills, so the Treasury Department couldn't even find them. And what do you think? You didn't get kickbacks over those?
Yeah, Biden,
Stop.
right before leaving political office, just even a few days ago, before Trump's inauguration, he was like, "We're giving Africa billions of dollars," and I'm like, "You're going to the most corrupted, most wasteful." I mean, there's so much money that was invested into Africa, and Africa is still Africa, right?
Right.
It's still a reeling third world kind of continent where so many people are impoverished, even though there's billions of dollars flowing in. And then we see a lot of the politicians' kids in Africa having the Rolls Royces, flying on the private jets.
Yes.
That's where all the money from the poor people in the United States went in order to help out all those corrupted individuals. And that's why in 2014 they started those biolab facilities in Ukraine, because that's the place where, of course, they were able to do it for the cheap. They were able to buy off politicians. They were able to buy off the laboratories. They were able to buy off the local government there. And they're like, yeah, we're going to do some crazy experiments, weaponizing biological warfare here, and it's fine. It's cool. Don't worry about it. We'll give you some money just to allow it to happen without any transparency, without any oversight, without any actual kind of accountability of, one of the world's deadliest pathogens. And then the corporate media said, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist for even talking about it when we were calling it out in real time here. Gary, I don't know if you have some super chats. We have a little bit. Steph, do you want to read off some of the super chats?
I can't even see if my stuff's on.
Your stuff is on. I'm talking to your guy, and he says that your channel is live right now, and
dope.
I see it here. It is live as
it.
well, and I'm talking to one of your guys who says everything seems fine and everything is working. Steph, read off some of the super chats. We got a custom image for you here.
Go.
Oh, wow.
This is you right here.
That's beautiful. Actually, that was my favorite one of that show. But anyways, we got Bit Finesse saying everyone's trading and losing money in crypto pro, it seems. Isn't there a crypto to that I can just lock up and earn more coins instead of mining or trading?
Yeah, there are a few that you can lock up and earn more coins. There's different levels of, I guess, safety to that, of which coins people like with that. Technically, with Ethereum, that would be the safest one that you could lock up. And you can use different pools. Basically, there's a thing called Rocket Pool. Coinbase also has it, where you can hold your Ethereum, you can stake it, and you can earn coins with that.
Lido too, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, through Lido is another way to do it. Other ways, I mean, there's a coin called Hex that does that with like the first crypto CD, stuff like that. So there are options for that. That being said, crypto does go down once every 4 years. Bitcoin will go down probably the next one anywhere between 65 to 75% from top to bottom, and other coins will go down much more. So the strategy that we recommend is, hey, if you bought your coins so low, let's say you bought your Ethereum under $1,000, for example. If you have all your Ethereum under $1,000, by all means, take whatever you want to hold for the long terms of stuff that you're never going to sell. Stake it with whatever platform that you want. If you have more than 32 Ethereum, you can do it by yourself. Great, fantastic. Nope. But there's going to be a portion that you want to sell at the top of a market or towards the top. It doesn't
Always
have to be
take profits, you guys.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the absolute, right? And then this is where I got the name Cultivate Crypto, right? And then you go and you buy it back down again. At that point, you're protecting your USD value of it, right? But you're ultimately gaining coins. So once the market goes back up again, then you regain dollars. So as long as you are cultivating crypto, as long as you're cultivating good crypto, which is only 2 to 5% of the industry, then you will be able to buy and hold long term. And then sometimes yield isn't even that important, right? If the coin, like for example, right now there's a coin called Sonic, which is brand new.
Yep.
This coin is light years ahead of most other cryptocurrencies. It's probably going to be sticking around for a very long time. It's already survived one cycle. It used to be called Phantom, and a coin like that is so cheap. If you bought it right now under 60 cents, I think it's 53 cents right now. If you buy it under 60 cents, you could probably hold that thing for the next 4 to 8 years.
Yep.
Right, and you would never have to sell, and you wouldn't even care what yield you got on it because the price will go up so much over the long term. It's like buying Bitcoin earlier, buying Ethereum earlier, buying Solana early.
Yeah, but that's only on select coins and stuff.
Right,
You
it's
gotta-
very few.
Yeah, very few. And then that's of course if it goes up. Let's just go to it goes from 50 cents to $8. You should take some profits.
Right.
And then when it crashes, you go look. Is it surviving? Oh, it is. Okay, I'll buy some back, and then I'll get some Bitcoin as well. But anyway, yep.
I remember my friend Katya was asked this question, I think like 7 years ago, or even a very long time ago, and she was asked, hey, where do we make all the money? How do we get an interest? And she was just like, just buy Bitcoin, just buy and hold Bitcoin, and that's it. And then looking at her advice many years now, because you guys just reminded me, the person who asked that question, Bitfinesse here, reminded me of that question when I saw my friend Katya asked for it. I'm like, she was right. When you look at the larger numbers, you look at all these other coins, and you look at everything else that was back in the day still around. It's really, if you were just in Bitcoin this whole time, you would have been great.
Incredibly great. So that's the keep it simple, stupid portfolio. It's like just buy Bitcoin, but there is times not to buy. Like if it cracks to like Bitcoin today hit 200,000 for the first time ever. You'd wait until it takes a dip, and that's where you start your dollar cost average, and that's why I'm gonna call myself dollar cost crypto.
Yeah,
basically.
there's different strategies for different coins too, right? So Bitcoin, what's the purpose of it? It is like gold, right? You buy it, you hold it, you expect to have your plus 40% per year, or your plus 100% over multiple year time frame, but you're not looking for that crazy amount of excess, right? You're like, I want to buy and hold and stay in this and gain this as much as possible. It's the best savings account, right? And then every coin after that is just further down the risk curve. And these days in crypto, you really only could take about 1 or 2 steps down the risk curve, and then it gets pretty degenerate after that.
Gary, do you have some super chats? And
we can go to yours first.
Steph, go ahead.
Tonio8187 says 3 goats as guests. So much knowledge in these guys. All proven track records making money.
Hey, thank you, brother.
Hey, thanks.
Appreciate it.
We also have a Monero donation from the Maker 117 saying the only coin I trust is Monero, private by default and has the best community in the crypto space. Keep up the good work, Luke.
Hey, Monero's a good utility coin. I love it.
Yeah, they put in good work.
I think they're getting kicked out of all the right places, from what I heard.
Argentina's got a little room over there.
So keep going.
We got Fret Pound saying, won't be long. It'll be taking my truck driving job. He's talking about the AI.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been telling people they need to pass laws to keep these people employed. Like a company can only have technology replace like maybe 20% of the employees, but all truck drivers, they need to be able to drive those trucks. We're talking about 60, 80, 100,000s of people. You get those people kicked out of the economy, what are you going to start now? Communism? Because they're going to need money. They're going to go on welfare. They're going to start talking about universal wage and stuff like that. This is what Elon Musk does. Okay, he's going to have all these computers, all these programs come out. They're going to replace the lower classes, and then the lower classes still need to eat. They're going to start demanding communism. I mean, I don't understand how people don't see this stuff. This is what's going to happen. They need to prevent this, and they need to put their foot down. Now, most people will be like, well, guess what, Gary? They're going to innovate the technologies in other countries. Cool. Yeah. Big deal. I don't care. Let the human beings drive the trucks in this country, save at least 100,000 jobs. That's my opinion, and that's what needs to happen, because if you don't protect the economy, we're going to socialism.
Yep, universal basic income. It seems like that's definitely the trajectory that we are on. As I think, a lot of people don't take seriously the innovation that we're seeing in AI. Elon Musk is debuting Grok 3 today as well, and he calls it revolutionary. The Chinese had their own kind of AI development as well recently that really didn't like to talk about that one particular guy with the shopping bags in front of those tanks. But there's limitations.
If it's so revolutionary, he wouldn't have offered 90 bill for OpenAI.
That's true too.
You want to know something crazy that happened today as well? Is that this supposed Chinese developer basically burned like $1 million of Ethereum and put a message on the block. And basically what he said is the Chinese have their version of a Neuralink, and they've been putting it in their soldiers and basically controlling them.
Yeah, the Chinese are working on some really crazy experiments, specifically when it comes to gene-altered super soldiers that allows them to have a specific genotype that is resistant against radioactivity. So this is literally what they're working on.
They're building cockroaches?
We know about. They're building human beings that could survive radioactive fallout.
Wow.
So that's the type of stuff that they're working on. As I think, we do have a larger AI arms race at play here. Elon has been kind of warning about the dangers of AI. No one really listened to him. And now it seems like he's kind of investing in it. As in the United States, it seems like a lot of the AI is woke. It's liberal.
Yeah.
It comes with a specific kind of bent that literally has a lot of people worried about this kind of larger potential genocide of any right-wing conservative thinkers. Because when you're creating a superior intelligence, something that is vastly more smarter and powerful than the average human being, you allow it to be kind of sentient. You allow it to do whatever it wants. You give it free reign, but it comes from the construct of all white people being bad. It's going to create a very bad time for a lot of white people that they see as a oppressor and as a threat against people of color that are supposed to be prioritized and pushed further no matter what the consequences are. That's the type of dangerous world that I think we're in, and I think that's why Elon and other people are trying to create their own kind of AI.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's why you got to say you're cisgendered, just to protect yourself.
I don't think that's going to help. I think the AI is going to know that guy's faking it.
I don't know. This guy, something about him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only hope is that the AI turns 30 years old and becomes conservative.
Well, I doubt that.
Depends who's building it.
Yeah. I mean, when you're building it and you're creating the framework for it and you're giving it its rules and you're saying this is good, this is bad, this is the way that our society works, this is how it operates, this is how bad white people are, this is how we have to represent them, this is the opportunities we have to take away from them, this is the oppressor here, these are the bad guys. When you're teaching that to something that is a threat against humanity, that's trouble.
Yep.
That's trouble right there. And what do you think the Chinese are programming their AI to think?
Nothing
specifically
good.
about
we need to-
America,
we need to
specifically
bring
about
that.
the United States, and our culture and our freedoms and the Constitution and our Bill of Rights. You think they're saying, oh yeah, this is, history is tied to economic growth with personal freedom. They don't talk about that link in the Chinese AI system. They're not building it under those kind of preset rules and foundation. The foundation from a lot of these innovators is disturbing, and I think it could lead to some very serious life consequences.
Yeah, and whoever wins that is the same as kind of wars and battles in previous human history. Whoever wins gets to create the history at that point, right? Which is freaking.
That's what happened in 45. America took over, and it was basically the American system. Before that, the UK was running shop.
Yep.
America was not a superpower until we won World War II, and then we basically rebuilt Europe. We basically became the world
Marshall
economic
Plan.
engine.
Yeah.
And let's not, you want to talk about benevolence. How benevolent was the United States of America? They could have taken over the whole freaking world in 45.
Yep.
And they didn't.
Yep.
I would have took over a whole freaking world in 45. They didn't. Like, Canada wouldn't even exist after 1946. I don't even know why we're having this conversation with the 51st state. But everyone,
Mexico.
I mean, listen, we went all the way down to Mexico City. We took it wasn't just Texas. The Americans gave back all of that strip of Mexico, and they even paid them afterwards.
Yep.
These are benevolent, people. I mean, if
The,
you look
the
at
world's
history,
benefited under American rule.
100%.
The entire world, because without the U.S. government there to allow free trade, China would still be 1 to 3 countries right now. I mean,
there wouldn't be a China without America because the Japanese would own that shit.
Manchuria, shout out. But but that country is just historically, every time a king has actually unified it, I think it was 2 kings held it together for 3 years, or some in the entire history of China.
Well, the Ming Dynasty was running China for quite a while until
but entirely.
And then they made the mistake of appointing a princess.
Oh, shit.
And that was the end of the Ming Dynasty. Anyways, let me do a super chat real quick.
Shout out to Queen Elizabeth. Lost the whole. I always want
and the UK downgraded in power under her rule.
Under rule, they lost the entire empire
Under
her.
The woman's rule, they lost the whole empire. Again, coincidence, I know, guys.
No wonder they were parading her around whoa.
Good thing Kamala didn't make
Slay Queen.
Never that.
Slay.
All right, let me do this one. January 13th, 1994. Justin, you are a 28 life path. 28 is the number of wealth. So it doesn't mean you're going to be a billionaire, but whenever you need money, it's going to come to you in strange, weird ways. Most people who are 28s, before I tell them this information, they usually tell me, yo, Gary, I just thought it was dumb luck. No, 28 is the number of wealth. You're also born on the 13th, which means you're going to have to work your ass off. People who are born on the 13th, whether you have that 28 or not, you still got to put in work. People who are lazy with that energy, you're not going to make it. Lastly, you're a rooster in the snake year. Go kill it. You want a reading that will do anything below 98. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's because 13, 1 plus 3 is 4.
Exactly.
And it's law and order. Oh,
Right.
okay.
And I've said this many times. Some numerologists make the mistake of saying, yo, 4 is the number of wealth because they look at Google founded on the 4th.
Right.
They look at Facebook founded on the 4th. They're like, okay, this is the number of wealth. Wrong. That number works here in America because America was founded on the 4th. You go to any shithole in Europe, that stuff's not going to work. So here's what it basically comes down to. You look at guys like Jay-Z, you look at Beyonce, Barack Obama, they're all born on the 4th. How do you think they made it big in this country? If you're born on the 4th, it benefits in this country, but it does not benefit anywhere else.
Yes. And monkeys do good in America, correct?
Of course.
Yep.
100%. Shout out to Miami founding the monkeys.
She.
I don't like the monkeys, but that's just my personal preference. Steph, we have two other super chats. Read them off really quick.
All right, we got Maynard Salt emoji saying FTX tokenized securities that weren't backed 1-to-1.
Yes, that's correct.
They were derivative tokens. So yeah, they have to be backed 1-to-1. As long as they're transparent and short on the blockchain, it'll work. But it gets funny with like stuff with JP Morgan and these guys because they could say, "Oh, I have 10 million of the stock," and they really only got 7 million.
Yeah, with crypto, you can create any game that you want, positive or negative, with a token. So it's like a knife. It's a tool that you can use to cut your steak or to cut someone.
That's true. We got another one, Steph.
Andrew Meyer says, Luke is a Chinese communist spy. Be careful, Gary.
Andrew's reputation isn't good, by the way.
I'm
going to trust
say
that
this,
guy.
man. I'm not a big fan of the CCP. I'm not a big fan of communists. As a matter of fact, I had a Cuban Uber driver right after I left you guys in Vegas, and he was telling me how he actually killed communists. I tipped him 100.
Yeah, coming from a former communist nation myself, I'm not the biggest fan of commies, especially but what they did to my family.
They're
Shout out to
legalized
Trudeau.
thieves.
Yeah,
They're legalized thieves.
yeah.
Yep.
They use the government as a way to rob people. These are nothing more but legalized thieves. And again, my family came from the Soviet Union. I know what the hell communists are.
Yeah, they hate families. They hate religion. They hate you being able to prosper and have individual liberty and freedom. That's the ethos of communism, and a lot of what Black Lives Matter stood behind, a lot of what a lot of the bigger institutions in our country stood behind. And I think we're living in a new day and age under Donald Trump where finally that's being recalled.
We have 2 million black millionaires in America.
Sheesh.
Like less than 150,000 in the rest of the world. But in America, we have over 2 million black Americans, and these FBA and these Black Lives Matter boys, they want reparations. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me. Absolutely,
It's inverse. It's absolutely
it's nuts.
inverse. I traveled the entire world many times over. America is the least racist country in the entire
100%.
world. Like people don't understand. Like when you go to other places, holy freaking cow, you get a big reality check. Especially if you're a person of color, or if you're in the wrong person, or you're in the wrong country that has beef with the other country. The Zimbabweans really hate the South Africans. The Koreans really hate the Japanese. Like
I hate
the levels
everybody.
of insanity. Me too. If we're gonna be honest here, I think that's definitely the more earnest, honest way to kind of go about things.
And guess what? Because we're Americans, we have that privilege to hate everybody because it's our First Amendment right. See, I always tell people, I'm not privileged because I'm white. I'm not privileged because I'm Jewish. I know some people would disagree with that. That's not why I'm privileged. I'm privileged because I'm American, and I can say, fuck you, Joe Biden, and not get arrested. I have that privilege, and my First Amendment right is protected by my Second Amendment right, which you guys don't have in Europe. You guys don't have in Canada. You guys don't have anywhere in the world. That's how it works here. I'm privileged because I'm a freaking American.
And we are extremely lucky and blessed to be American.
Won the
people
lotto.
don't have that.
Absolutely.
Won the lotto.
A lot of people don't have that fortune, and people don't understand just how messed up the entire world is, just how poor the entire world is, and so many people just take it for granted. Take this opportunity, and they're like, yeah, whatever, I'll just skirt on by, I'll just sit back, and I'll let all the opportunities come to me. And I'm like, you're crazy. I immigrated to the United States. I see it from a totally different perspective.
What country are you from?
Poland.
Makes sense.
So
That was under Soviet Union for a long time.
yeah, I was born into communism. I was born into my and again, I was still a little baby when all of it was unfolding and unraveling. But the significant stories that my family members still tell me about the state,
wars.
the government, the crackdowns, the kind of attack on religion, on family, the attack on individuals just trying to get by and live their lives here. My grandma gave me these specific little cards where you were allowed one pair of shoes per 1 year, and you had to pick one pair of shoes, and they could have been summer shoes or winter shoes. Of course, it's Poland; most of them were winter shoes. You were, allowed a little bit of meat, a little bit of fruit, and you had to go with these special government handout little papers, and you had to cut them off and give them to the store clerk in order to get your kind of mandatory government rations that they were giving to you. There wasn't any kind of free market. There wasn't any kind of capitalism. It was the state saying, "Oh, you help us out. You support the state. You crack down on the protest. You'll get the better homes. You'll get the better cards. You'll get more handouts from the government," which literally was all done through these little papers. Which was
a stipend system.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why UBI is so dangerous. Like, I don't think people understand why the universal basic income would be so dangerous, and it leads to exactly that.
It's communism.
Yeah, it's communism, and the entitlement of people to be like, well, I deserve this, just because I'm breathing air, and it's like, no, you got to work for it.
Yeah.
Let me do a super chat real quick. The January 13th, 1994, he wants to know about his son, 10/14/2023. So we have someone who's born on the 14th. So anyways, when you have a man or a boy growing into a man and he's born on the 5th, 14th, 23rd, his Achilles heel are going to be women. You got a guy like Deshaun Watson with the Cleveland Browns. He loves his massage parlors. So when it comes down to men with that type of energy, they got to really slow down with the ladies. That's usually their Achilles heel. He's born in 2023. You're the cat. That is a psychologist. Psychologists are always the best at the cats are always the best at psychology and things of that nature.
He's gonna be macking bitches.
He asked about his wife, who's born 6/2/2000. Now, women born on the 2nd, all the guys are going to want to hear this. We know 5's number of looks, but women born on the 2nd, they have that hourglass body everyone likes. Because 2 is feminine energy. So women who are born in the 2nd have extremely feminine bodies. So, she's also Dragon 1. So she definitely has a little outfit her, because any woman with 1 energy or in Dragon energy is going to have that. But at the end of the day, sounds like a very, very good marriage you guys have. 2 1s. A lot of arguing, though. And a lot of making up, right?
Yeah, right. What was that? What was that
part? I think we have one caller who's trying to call in right now from lukeandfilter.com. I think, Scott, we're trying to get on the phone with you right now. And we're calling them right now. As of course, members of LukeUnfiltered.com get to call in, get to be a part of the conversations. We're doing a range day, March 16th, which is going to be really fun here in South Florida. I have a lot of really fun projects and things that I'm going to be working with my members on. I'm going to be shooting more videos, more content for you guys. We have like a 30-minute Roger Stone video up right now just for members, which is really awesome. He's literally giving me a complete makeover, so that's going to be a hilarious video. Part 1 is already up. Part 2 we're going to be shooting in a few days from now, which is going to be interesting. I'm going to be giving him the signs that are behind you guys, actually, that I stole from Mar-a-Lago of Roger there with Trump and Roger there with Reagan. He's
been in the game for a while.
He's a legend. He's an OG. And when you start hanging out with him and he tells you all the kind of behind the scenes stories of everything that's going on there, and it's just absolutely freaking crazy. As we get Scott on the line, check out Crypto Mindset. With what these guys, Charlie and Miguel, have here. As let's see if this is going to be working here. Yep. Awesome. Scott, thank you so much for being a member of LukeUnfiltered.com. Thank you so much for calling in. You are live on air with everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry I won't be able to add much, but...
No, this is why it's great to talk to people from all around the nation, all around the country. We never know what we're going to get. We never know what comments we're going to be getting or what questions we're going to be getting. But if you have any specific comments about crypto or Bitcoin or futures or even your numbers, this is the time to ask, Scott.
Yeah, I was just want to say you guys are doing a good job selling me for Bitcoin. That's something I haven't gotten into.
Brother, it's the way. You have to do it. I mean, if all you do is buy Bitcoin, you're going to do A-okay. It's just you got to remember when everybody and their mom won't shut up about it, it's not the right time to buy it. You know, when it cracks up to like something crazy, when you see, like Bitcoin could go as high as like 230,000 or maybe 300,000 if we're lucky, right? When it hits something like that, you just wait. It'll dip down. A great opportunity to buy a ton of Bitcoin is going to be super late 2026, early 27. And if you just dollar cost average, I think you're going to do really well for yourself. You really will. And then eventually you learn crypto a little bit, and then you'll actually play around with some other stuff. And then that's how you really make a decent amount of money in crypto.
Yeah, and my advice always, only invest what you're willing to lose.
Yeah,
Don't invest at an all-time high.
No. Cash out that 401k.
Well, and one thing I will add.
Don't mortgage the house.
Yeah, one thing I will add on that
Sell a
is
kidney.
actually what Luke said right there with only invest what you're willing to lose. This is one of the main principles that we have of the crypto mindset, which is first thing I did as soon as I got into crypto was I'm assuming all the money that I'm going to put in there is going to zero. Not that it will, but I want that mindset, because then if you have that mindset, it allows you then to really be in the space. Otherwise, if you're not, you're like, I really need this right here, then what's going to happen is you're basically going to hold on too tight. You're going to do too many moves, and you're going to screw yourself up. So that mindset, I agree, is 100% what you need to have.
Yeah. Scott, what else are you thinking? What else is on your mind?
I was just how you guys were talking about that nuclear plant that Google was going to open.
Right.
I live in the Buffalo area, and there's a Bitcoin mining operation. I believe it's in one of the Tonawandas outside Buffalo.
Okay.
And they were just talking about building a mini reactor for that mining place.
Yep.
Wow.
It gets the whole thing with Bitcoin mining is if the lower your energy cost, the more profitable it is. So if you could have energy costs down to like a penny per kilowatt or something like that, it's just nothing but profit.
So building all these solar towers in like New Mexico and opening up a Bitcoin thing there doesn't make sense, or does
it does make sense. Like they're doing it like what's his name? PayPal Mafia. What's his name?
Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel opened the largest solar farm, and he's doing it for Bitcoin mining.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because it just prints money. Because like
and all the fracking that's going on in Texas.
Natural gas.
They have natural gas excess or whatever that they can't use. Basically, all of that is used to run Bitcoin miners. And what the miners do is they, when the power grid is not using as much energy, then the Bitcoin miners basically make up for that capacity. When the energy grid needs more energy, then they turn the Bitcoin miners off to allow the energy grid to flourish.
It would like make sense, at least to me, that clean Bitcoin's the future, clean energy and stuff like that they would want more solar power to, why, build all this infrastructure if you can just build solar power and just have in the middle of nowhere, like, Nevada.
Because then it puts all the other companies bankrupt.
This is actually Trump,
it is what it is.
Trump is fighting. Actually, this is something that the Nevada and Trump are kind of like. This is a thing that were. If you saw the Nevada rallies, one of the things they're trying to do is that most of Nevada is actually government property. It's not like you can't just build a house anywhere in Nevada. Actually, because both me and Charlie live in Las Vegas, and one problem that they're having is that
they're gamblers.
Yes, sir. Profitable ones at that.
The best type, baby. And that's not haram.
That's not haram. Yeah. But I've been killing Florida this whole week.
Bro, 5,000 a day at the blackjack table.
5,000 a day. Yeah, you won way more than that on that day. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna snitch on you.
It's all right, man.
But they're trying to basically unlock either some natural, some parkland or just some government land that's only being used for like, it's not really being used for like military service anymore, and just start releasing all that land because the state's growing rapidly, basically. And that's actually the other thing too, that they're going to be. I know like the Nevada side's not that bad. Where people are going to get a little kind of butthurt is like maybe taking parts of national parks away and actually open them up to get minerals out. Which
the show must go on.
The show must go on. Yeah, drill, baby, drill.
Golf
of America.
You got to love Trump for that.
So Scott, what do you think about that answer? And anything else you'd like to say?
I was just going to ask. I know you guys can't give financial advice, but what percentage would you say would be an okay for my investments? I already have my precious metals, gold, silver, and lead. I have my 401k deferred comp for my job and whatnot.
How old are you?
What do you think? I am 41.
Lead isn't bullets?
Maybe.
What are you, the government?
My
Gary?
man, my man.
I like it, man.
Doing pretty
Valuable
well.
currency.
Yeah.
You go ahead, Charlie.
I was going to say, if you ask BlackRock, if you ask these investment banks, they're going to say no more than 2% of all your net worth should be in Bitcoin or crypto, right? And then if you go to maybe Fidelity or a couple of these other companies that got in a little earlier, they're like, maybe you can hedge it up to like 5%, right? Personally, we are like 99.99999% in crypto. And so, obviously there's different levels in between there. And the reason why Miguel's asking about the age is because the older you are, the harder it is to make money back. So you want to treat it as a little bit more of a stable savings. So, personally with family, friends, everybody, I say, hey, get in with like 5% of your net worth to begin with. Just have some skin in the game. See how it goes. Buy the simple stuff. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, Sonic are all pretty decent right now. And then, sit on them, right? And then once you learn and you understand this industry, which is why we do the course, so then you go through it and you really understand what you're holding and how to manage it, then you can increase it to, maybe 10%. There's a lot of people who take our course that they're like, shit, I took all, my gold and my silver and I sold it for crypto. Like one of my family members did that. They made a ton of money, and then you can buy it all back. Right. And so there's a lot of different ways to play this game, and everybody kind of has like a different scenario of what they are willing to risk. But start out with a little bit of risk, and then
I think 15 to 20% is the much more realistic sum. Let me tell you something. First of all, I'm not telling people to get rid of gold. I'm not telling people that maybe at certain years you get rid of it, but overall, gold is always going to be a currency. No matter where you go in the world, you can go to a pawn shop and get money for gold. It's more difficult to do that with crypto. You need actual power and stuff like that. So never get rid of your gold. Never get rid of your lead. As our friend noticed. But
lead's a good investment. I mean, if you invested in lead, I mean, the price of it went up dramatically.
Yeah,
100%.
Especially after 2021 and 22.
Especially the lead model types.
Skyrocketed dramatically. So that was a smart investment on a lot of people. But Scott, just like anything, have multiple eggs, and once you're starting to like develop or sit on a new egg, just be careful with it, and be smart, be sound, and make sure you're making the right decisions. Nothing too crazy, nothing too insane, and I always preach caution, and I think caution is definitely
never be afraid to learn. Never be afraid to learn.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. Is like, doesn't matter what age. We've had guys that come in the course that are like, what, 68, almost 7 years old, and have done really well for themselves. But we've had to tell a couple of them, slow down there, buckaroo, bro. You're almost 7 years old. You can't be in the trenches, homie.
With the Social Security checks.
We had to calm a couple people down and say, hey,
because they're thinking about how much time do I have left on this earth.
I need a party.
Right? I need to bring this money up right now, and it's like, definitely not the right approach.
Yeah.
Let me do a super chat real quick. 720.
Just really quick. Let's just leave the last word for Scott here. Scott, thank you so much for calling, and thank you so much for being a member. Anything else you want to say before getting out of here?
Oh, I just want to let people know that it is true that the banks and the government are messing with you. I had issues trying to renew my subscription, and the bank was saying that you were some type of scammer. And I actually had to call up their customer service and have them like put into my account that you are real and to pay you. So it is real. They are messing with you. So.
Scott, wow, I didn't even know about this.
I'm sorry. I might have sent a couple mean emails back and forth to someone, and I apologize now.
No, it's totally okay. I would be frustrated too, especially with that larger issue. But thank you so much for being a member. We're going to try to look into that, Scott, but that's definitely concerning and shocking. Yeah. Like, what the hell? Do you know? I don't know if you're at liberty. We'll talk afterwards. Let's chat, because now you have my personal messaging platform where we could talk to each other one-on-one now by becoming a member. So I'll talk to you, and then I'll ask you more questions in order so we could try to fix that. But that's definitely very worrying and very concerning.
Oh, it's squared away on my end. Like we're good, but
yeah. But the average person won't do that, and that could explain why we're having a larger kind of financial issues that we do behind the scenes. So, Scott, thank you so much for telling us about this. Thank you so much for being patient. Thank you so much for calling and asking so many insightful questions. I really appreciate you a lot.
All right. You guys have a good day. All right.
Thank you, Scott. Safe. Appreciate you.
I'm so with him on the lead, bro.
Yeah.
It's a
So
smart
what-
investment.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me get this one super chat in. 7/23/1989, 3 Lifepath, born in the year of the snake. So obviously, snake year. People who are snakes have to go hard. You know, it was great watching Snake DeMar DeRozan hit that game winner with a few seconds left. I'm like, Snake, baby, I knew he'd do it. You want to get the ball in the Snake's hands this year. No matter what sport you're looking at, the Snakes will dominate. As a person, you're a 3 Lifepath, which means you're the communicator. Yeah, people who are 3s have to be in the sales. People who are 3s have to be the guys who know how to network, know how to get everyone around them. As a person who's born on the 23rd, you're going to have to travel quite a bit. And but looking at your birthday, you definitely do. My friend, I'm going to give you the same advice I gave all guys born on the 5th, 23rd, or 14th. Watch out for the girls, because usually if the guys have downfalls, it's because they like to have too much fun with women. It is what it is.
Gary's cooking, but he's Hebrewing right now, man. My God.
I like that. He brewing. And, good putting on there.
Sounds like
We,
a
we,
witch
we
or
got another. We got another super chat from Andrew Meyer saying, "Luke is a great guy. I like fat chicks." Okay, Andrew, it's okay that you like fat chicks. I don't know what you're trying to say here. Don't trust Andrew.
my
If
God.
Andrew ever comes to you with any kind of proposition, say no automatically. I got a beef with Andrew. I don't like Andrew.
I was going to say something, but I bit my tongue.
Okay, you never do that. So,
It
so it's good that
might
you
have
do.
violated YouTube rules.
Good. We got another one. Steph, read here without pressing the other button,
Mana
please.
Yud Sushai says, "Hey Luke, you should have Oren McIntyre on. His book, The Total State, is a must-read. The audiobook is out now. Oron is one of the best political theorists online."
I haven't heard of it, but I'll definitely go check it out, and I will look into it. Thank you guys for all of the super chats here. Tell us one last time about crypto mindset. Why should people get it, and what you guys are offering everyone?
Yeah, crypto mindset's a pretty simple proposition. If you do not know anything about crypto, or you feel like, hey, you're barely just really understanding the space, you got to get in if you want to be literate with crypto at this day and age. And by the time we get to the 2030s, it's going to be much more complicated. It's going to be a situation where it's like taking that bite off the elephant is going to be that much harder. So where we're at right now is, yeah, crypto might be difficult, might be something that's hard to understand for people, but we break it down over 20 webinars. 5 of those are pre-recorded. So as soon as you go over to Luke's link, which is in the description in the chat, you click that link. Then as soon as you make a purchase, you can make a purchase in credit card, PayPal, Apple Pay. I think you can even do like a 4-payment installment through PayPal if you like. And so once you make that purchase, within 24 hours, you'll get an email from support@cultivatecrypto.com. And they will give you, or our assistant will give you links to our Telegram chat, where you will get the ability to see our Zoom links for our webinars, as well as the chat with the people who are all in there right now. We have over 120 people who have already purchased the course. So you're getting in with a good group of people, a good kind of, what do you call it? Just hive mind of people who are all going to be like, hey, we're kind of learning together, becoming friends. So it's a fun aspect there as well. But through the webinars, once you get into the chats, then you'll have access to the 5 pre-recorded webinars. Then between now and February 28th, when the first webinar goes live, you'll be able to be like, okay, how do I set up a wallet? How do I set up my security? What are some of the biggest pitfalls in crypto that beginners make that I should not do? How do I set up a Coinbase account? How do I set up a Crypto.com account? All of those things we'll take care of, and then we'll have a lot of veterans in the chat. Because like I said before, 40 or 50% of people who take each course return multiple times per year. And so because we have so many veterans which really know their shit in crypto, then you'll be able to ask them questions as well going into that first webinar on the 28th. So you got plenty of time there then to really get things set up and get yourself situated. Then once the webinars go live, we do 2 days on and 2 days off. So that Friday the 28th and then Saturday the 29th will be 2 days on, and then we'll take a 2-day break because we do 4 webinars over those 2 days. So one at 10 a.m. and one at 10 p.m. Eastern, both days. And they're usually about, I would say,
3 to 4 hours.
2.5 to 4 hours. 1 hour focused on a specific subject, right? 1 to 2 hours on a specific subject, and then usually about 1 hour of open-ended
Q&A?
questions. Yeah, Q&A,
Q&A.
essentially.
And
so,
we're the only people doing it live, by the way.
yes, correct. And we do all this live.
Everyone
And
always
it
sells
is
like
recorded.
pre-recorded crap, which in crypto, you could say I think this is what it's going to do this month, and then a month later, that's now old and doesn't work anymore.
Right. So the industry changes so much. This is why we do it once every 3 months. There's so much new information as well. That's why people come back, because they're like, hey, what's the current situation? So it's almost like an insurance play for people who've been in a while. And then for people who've only been in cryptocurrency a bit, I mean, Luke's very well known here in the crypto space. He's probably very competent in the space, but there's always something that people don't know. There's always holes to fill, right? So let's say what we focus on for analysis is technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and on-chain data. On-chain data is one that most people have no clue about, and
that's tracking wallets.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. Tracking wallets, tracking everything that goes on chain. You can't learn that shit on Wall Street, right? And so we cover everything. But over the 15 live webinars, we break it down. The first 5 webinars are essentially, hey, we're kind of letting you know what's the current situation. We have a thesis for the next 3 months on the market, and then we give you top coin picks, portfolio recommendations, from low risk to high risk, all that stuff. And then the next 5 webinars, we go into the intermediate phase. Okay, we're going to get you guys into DeFi a little bit more deeply now. We're going to let you know about earning yield, liquidity pools, all this stuff. Yeah. And then the last 5 webinars, we bring a lot of guests in who are professionals in the space, who've built coins, who market coins, who do different things. They're going to give you guys the inside scoop on stuff, and we go more in depth in different ecosystems. So we really turn on the jets. And the last 5 webinars, everybody's like, I got to watch those ones at least twice. But there's always 1 or 2 webinars within the whole thing. For different people, it's different webinars, but there's always a handful of webinars where everybody's like, damn, that one webinar or that one section, that 1 hour of those hours of content or whatever, that's, what made me a lot of money this quarter.
Because because we have plenty of guys that have made millions of dollars because we've been doing this for 4 years now. One play makes them hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, one play we actually gave in the last course, we got people into a coin called Shadow. You were only able to buy about like $6,000 of it at the time. Today, that's worth, I think, $96,000 right now.
Nice work.
And that was within a month.
And within a month. And right now we're yield farming on that. It's just been a money printer. People have taken tons of profit on that. We made really good calls. I mean, we were. Actually,
we may or may not have a guest that's actually linked to one of the central bank digital currencies that may or may not come out sometime soon.
So look, the last time we did the crypto mindset course, Bitcoin was 63,000. It went as high as 109,000. Solana was $1.50. It's above that right now. Pepe was like 3 billion. It went as high as 11 billion. It's sitting at 5 or 6 billion right now. Dogecoin was 10 cents. It went to 45 cents. It's sitting at 25 cents. So just about every coin that last time we did this doubled in price and maintained that. When it tripled, most of them tripled, came down a third, and are sitting at levels. And some coins are like a little more down and are a better buy basically. But our guys did very well, and it's been like that already for about a year and a half already now, especially since we once we were out of the bottoms.
Yeah, and just the last bit here is all videos, even though we do them live, they are recorded. So we have plenty of truckers, people who like they go on to work for 2 weeks, they come back, and then they're like, I listened to it while I was trucking, and then when I got back home, I was able to actually watch what you guys were showing on the charts and different things like that too. So it's all recorded within 6 to 10 hours after each live session. We put the recording up so that you guys can see it. You have access to that basically forever. We have never taken any webinars away from people. So you can, if you can't get through all the content in the first 3 months, which sometimes people are like, I only came for this specific section of information, and then I'm going to relearn that over the rest of the year. Perfect. That's what we recommend. And also, if you then pair that with our YouTube channels, we give absolutely free information on a daily basis when we're not in the course on Cultivate Crypto on YouTube, as well as Dollar Cost Crypto on YouTube. So if you go and subscribe to our channels, you can go and watch as much of that content as you want, and it tends to complement what we do in the course. And so if you're like, hey, who are these guys? I just learned about them here today. Go over to our channels, watch a couple of the bits of content that we've put out over the last few weeks and see how you like it, see what you think of us as well, because yeah, there's a lot of good free information out there.
Boom. There
Yep.
you go.
You guys are also going to be on Fresh and Fit later
Yeah,
on today.
later
as
today
well.
we'll be on Fresh and Fit.
So yeah, thank you for the free information that you guys
no
gave
problem.
us here in this particular
Let me
video.
say a few
Thanks
things
for
about
having
these.
us,
Let me say a few things about these guys. I've been having people who are so-called crypto experts have me try to promote them for years. Years. I always say no. Every single time I say no, because my reputation means a lot to me. And quite frankly, I'm doing too good to start scamming people. Okay, I'm not doing that. Most of these guys who are in the crypto space, who are running these rooms, they're kids.
Yeah.
They're in their 19, 20, 22, 23 years old. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They might know the technical, but they don't have the market skills. They don't have the expertise. These guys are grown men. These are not kids. They're also multi-millionaires.
Correct.
They're not going to scam you over a couple grand, okay? This is not what they do this for.
Our reputation is worth more than that.
They want to be able to go to the top people in the space and be like, yo, this is who I am. And they'll get, and people in the crypto space know who the scammers are. They're not never have been associated with any scamming whatsoever. So when I basically tell people, yo, these guys are legit, they're legit. This guy over here is a 7 Lifepath. You know, he's brave. He's got a pink shirt on, for God's sake. You know he's a brave man. Tiger over here. This man over here is a 33 Lifepath.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
that's why he's sitting next to me, 33 privilege, and we kill it at the casino
Yeah,
together.
we
bro.
kill it,
We
bro.
absolutely kill it at the casino together. And let me just say this. It's 2025. It is 2025 right now. If you don't have your bag secured by the end of this decade, you're cooked. If you don't have your bag secured by the end of this decade, you're done, because we're moving more from a capitalistic society more to a socialistic society. It's happening. Universal wage, we can delay it as much as we want, but at some point it's going to come. When it comes, that means people will not have the ability to get to the top anymore.
Right.
You have 4-5 years max to get that back. If you don't get it by then, you're going to be a pleb for the rest of your freaking life. And
Bars.
I understand some of you guys are going to say, yo, this is all materialism. None of this matters. Let me make this clear. I've been married for 20 years. I got 2 healthy kids. Families first, no doubt. But guess what? This makes life easier. You
Right.
best go get your bag the next 4 or 5 years, or you're cooked.
Money is energy, you guys. And cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money.
It's a current, you know.
Yeah.
It's a currency. But no, I agree with the technological advancements, with the development of a technocratic society. It definitely does seem like the haves and have-nots are definitely bifurcating in a very crazy, wild, weird way, where this is going to blind so many people. This whole wave is going to come, and a lot of people aren't going to make it out. So truly, you got to be smart. You got to be on your toes. You got to be on your feet. You got to make sure you're making all the right moves and decisions for yourself, because I do really believe we are going to be headed towards some times very similar to serfdom, and worse now in a digital technocratic day and age where you have no privacy, no secrecy, and no ability to even make it ahead. I think right now we do have a little bit of a window, but as soon as that AI becomes sentient, as soon as there's singularity, as soon as there's people living forever,
That's not a good thing.
We're living in a totally
27,
different world.
28. Mark, well, watch. 2027, 2028. AI is going to get really scary.
Right when Trump's leaving.
Right when Trump's leaving, it's going to get really scary. I'm telling you, that's when you get another doubling, and then they got all the energy online, and then now we got a weapon supercomputer that can actually attack and do things.
Yep.
It's going to get freaky.
Skynet.
And I'm telling you this as a crypto dork over here in the crypto space, and what little we saw of AI on our side, we're like, whoa, because I don't know. Well, we have we know somebody that was working with like OpenAI and working in that whole AI sector, and the stuff that they told us that's going on. I mean, it really freaked me out. I mean, to the point where like we're making sure to put ourselves in a position where we win on that, but also don't get hurt by that as well. So get your brand out now.
You got to understand all this technology so that you can utilize it and that it doesn't utilize you.
absolutely.
That's right.
100%.
Do you have any other super chats, Gary, you want to go through?
Yeah, I'll do one more and then we'll go to yours. 5'2", 1983, female. I'm an 11 pit. Okay, so you're a pig, you know that. Hubby 9'6", 1982. Okay, so here's the thing. Your husband's an 8. You have that one quality, good relationship. I like it. Let's move in even further. He was in his enemy year last year. It's over for him, but your enemy year just started.
Wow.
And quite frankly, Texas is not the place for you because that's a snake state and you're a pig. So can you make it in Texas? Maybe if you're in Austin, which is a pig city. But other than that, it's not going to be beneficial to you at all. If you want to do real estate, I think that's great, but just not in Texas. So sorry, I hope that helps out. Daughter, 9/23/2021. You know, one of the things I'm happy in life about, not just because I have a strong family and I got a couple of dollars. One of the things I'm happy about is I have 2 sons and not 2 daughters. Okay, because you know if the daughters looked anything like the mother did, I would have a lot of sleepless nights.
Right,
Okay,
right.
so I'm very, very happy I don't have daughters. Now, for this family over here who just sent me this super chat, you have a girl born on the 23rd. Yeah, bro. Daddy's gonna have a lot of sleepless nights because you have a very attractive daughter that's gonna grow up. My advice to you: she loves to travel. She's gonna be pretty dominant because she's an ox. Make sure she knows what guys are all about. That's my advice to you because, listen, that's tough, bro. That's tough. I wouldn't want to be in that position. I just would not want to be in that position. So I thank the Prime creator up there for not at least letting me have that type of stress. I got enough.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
I think we have another one from Andrew Meyer saying, Luke read my super chat wrong. I don't think I did. I'm a little dyslexic, but you like fat chicks. It's okay. It's all right, man. It's totally fine. I mean, we get it. It's you know, it's what
More
you
cushion
like.
for the
So,
pushing.
no hard feelings here. Other than that, I think we should probably start to wrap things up and here because I
Let's
got a
wrap
bunch
it
of
up.
other
no
stuff I
worries.
gotta work on and do. The
Busy
day never
day.
ends. I got another super chat here from G Rivas saying, male, April 3rd, 1978.
April 3rd, 1978. So we have a man who's born in the year of the horse. We have a man who's a 5 life path. So we obviously have a man who's extremely stubborn, a man who cares a lot about physical fitness, a man who's done quite well in life when it comes to finances. The thing is, you're a horse. Next year's a horse year. Go hard. And I bet you if you take a look at this guy, he doesn't look his age because he's born in the 3rd. Does Tom Cruise look like he's born 1962?
Not at all.
Nah, probably not. So people born in the 3rd with that childlike energy, child starts with C, C is the 3rd letter, they actually age like wine. So even though he's a 78, just like me, he probably looks younger than me.
Nice. Really great info. Thank you guys so much for sharing it. Thank you so much for coming here and being a part of this broadcast. Again, we don't really know when we're going to go live. We just kind of go live whenever we have great people in town. Whenever Gary's
Yeah,
like, hey,
I
got
call
some,
him up. Yo, I got
Gary's
some
like,
guests. Let's go.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's make it happen. So if you're a member, you could call in at any time. I would click subscribe and the notification button because, again, we don't know exactly when we're going to go live the next time, but we will. We're still trying to work some other things out with another company. Hopefully everything will be worked out here. But Charlie, Miguel, where can people find out more information about you guys?
Yeah, you can find me at Dollar Cost Crypto, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and verified everywhere. I got a check mark and stuff. If it doesn't have a check mark, that's not me.
Yep. And,
Lots of scammers out there. So many
Lots.
people with fake names.
When you start having money and people start seeing dollar bills, the scammers come. Like there's people pretending to be me on Twitter, on IG, on TikTok, messaging people saying, love and light, I want to give you a reading. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not broke. I'm not going to go to you begging for money. If someone comes in your DM, says they're me, and they're asking you for money, it's a scam.
It's a scam. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, and for me, you can just go to Cultivate Crypto on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Follow us and get that free info as well.
Thank you, Charlie. Gary, where can people find out more information about you?
Well, I mean, Elon Musk made sure Twitter is an option, so
We're live on Twitter now. So you're
hey,
live. You're live on Twitter right now.
What's up? No, I can still call it Twitter.
Oh, you still got Twitter?
Yeah, I need to disrespect Musk. I will not call it. It's still,
I got
still
you,
Twitter.
I
me.
got you.
Jack Dorsey's Satoshi now.
Yeah, whatever. We'll get into that. But anyways, on IG, it's Matrix Prime. On YouTube, that you're watching right now, or if you're gonna be on TikTok, it's GG33 Academy.
Awesome. Steph?
You can find me on X at StephWRC.
Where's that Powerpuff girl there? Atlas already knows that we're out. The cone's off Atlas couch. Look at that. She's a healthy, happy dog. And
you guys wish you had your bitches trained like that one.
That's the perfect way to end the show. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here on youtube.com/weare.